We've got a pretty weird episode from season 7, A Pal for Gary, an episode where SpongeBob gets Gary a pal, but that pal ends up being a very evil monster. But what we're here for are mistakes. Here's the first one.
I can only imagine the tortured loneliness he must be feeling right now.
This one is very, very weird. Now, I don't think I need to explain this, but right here on his SquarePants, he has a black belt. Major part of his design, but, well, in A Pal for Gary, when SpongeBob is walking away from his house near the start of the episode, let's take a look at our boy's belt for a frame because it randomly turns white. Like, what? It's only for a split second, so obviously it's not that big of a deal. It goes back to black, but look at that, dude. I'm zooming in. It is white, and that is not correct, and neither is this next mistake. Take a look at this one.
You two get to know each other. I'll be right back. Eat up, you two.
Yeah, if you thought that one was bad, this one's worse. It's kind of funny as well, though. So, when SpongeBob carries a food bowl into the living room, let's take a look at the inside of his mouth for this one frame, as it appears to be yellow. When, of course, as you guys know, the inside of a mouth is usually gonna be like red or pink, and in SpongeBob's case, it's always red. So it being yellow here is just very, very strange. Very weird mistake here. And there's more. Here's the next one.
Sheriff, I nabbed your bank robber.
Man, 3 mistakes in one episode? That is wild. Well, this one needs some explaining. So, throughout most of the Western crime movie or TV show that Gary the Snail is watching, throughout the episode, we see this cowboy fish right here. And he's always in this like normal olive green design, all right? This is how he looks. Remember this. Remember it. This is how he looks. But in the very last scene of this show that is shown, this just randomly changes. The animators forgot about that olive green design and just randomly color him purple with a blue fin, thus making for a strange continuity error, which is really funny because this is a mistake within a show of a show, because Gary's watching a TV show and there's a mistake in this show. So I just thought that was kind of funny, but let's head over to another episode of SpongeBob, guys, with some wild mistakes. Things are about to get wild. Okay, it's time for some classic episodes. Next up, we've got Squid's Day Off, which is a very underrated episode from season 2 in my opinion. I mean, people love this episode, but I don't feel like it's talked about enough. I hate to bring it up in such a negative circumstance though, as we're about to expose some mistakes. Here's the first one.
I will ring the bell when there's an order, but there's no customers!
What's going on out here? My babies! Get away, barbarian! What have you done?
Did you guys catch that? Probably not, because it's a very weird mistake that needs some explained. So, during that scene you guys just saw, when Mr. Krabs grabs the dime from Squidward, if we look over here, we can see that there's this bag of grains that's between the pipe. It's right here, all right? You can see it right there. Now, the problem is that before this shot, we get a shot of that same pipe, and look, that bag of grains is missing. So first, when the episode begins, during a wide shot of the interior, when Squidward notes that there's no customers, we can see that pipe right here, this spot right here, and that bag of grains is not there. But then literally seconds later, when we get this shot where Mr. Krabs takes the dime from Squidward, that bag is now there. So how did it get there? I highly doubt Squidward or Mr. Krabs put it there in a matter of seconds in the middle of a conversation. So I think it's a continuity error. First they drew it without it, and then they drew it with it, making for a funny mistake. And I'm rambling, so here's another mistake from the same episode that's a lot more spicy. Like seriously, this one's really, really bad.
SpongeBob, stop ringing this bell.
I was just testing it.
I will ring the bell when there's an order.
Yeah, so I was not lying. This one is really, really bad. But when Squidward says, SpongeBob, stop ringing this bell, his legs, right, his legs, a massive part of his design, are not colored in for an entire frame. Like his legs were just not colored in at all, and it looks so strange. I told you it was a really bad mistake, all right? And there's gonna be a ton more in this video. Next episode is a SquarePants family vacation. I love this episode episode. I love episodes with SpongeBob's parents in them. And here's the first mistake.
Are you getting hungry?
Yeah.
Oh, I could hear your stomach growling. I thought for a second it might be some kind of scaly monster coming to eat us.
This one's pretty straightforward, but when SpongeBob and Patrick are walking through this like mushroom forest, and SpongeBob says, for a second, I thought it was some scary monster coming to eat us. This is really bad, but our boy loses his entire left arm for a frame. Like, it's just not there. It's only for a frame. It does come back right away. But dude, look at this shot without his arm. And yeah, major mistake here, guys. Let's keep it moving though and head over to another SpongeBob episode with some wacky mistakes. Let's head back over to the classics. We've got Something Smells, a very special episode, such a nostalgic episode. It hits me in the childhood, but let's ruin that childhood by exposing that first mistake.
Wow, it's Sunday, Gary. Guess what's for breakfast? That's right. A Sunday!
As you just seen, after SpongeBob goes from his bedroom to his kitchen to make the sundae, when he opens the door, we can see his bedroom wallpaper, all right? Instead of his living room, which is totally a mistake because SpongeBob's bedroom is not located next to his kitchen. It's located upstairs, as we've seen in numerous episodes before. Here's a shot of it right here. So yeah, very weird mistake. I don't know why they put his bedroom wallpaper as he's coming into the kitchen. Totally a mistake. And here's another one from this episode.
Looks like we're out of ice cream. Guess I'll have to use something else. Ketchup!
This one took me a couple times of watching it to really catch it, but when SpongeBob opens the giant ketchup bottle and squeezes it into his sundae bowl, disgusting by the way. Putting ketchup in a sundae, disgusting. If we look at his hands though, his right hand is on backwards. Look at this, I'm zooming in. Yeah, that hand is on backwards and totally a mistake, a really bad one too. We ain't done yet though, gang. More mistakes to come and you do not want to miss them. Let's keep it rolling. For this one, we're gonna head over to season 8, a very weird season of SpongeBob that I feel like is not ever really talked about. A lot of the episodes weren't very memorable, but one I've always enjoyed was a friendly game where SpongeBob and Patrick play an insane game of golf. You know what? I think I'm gonna turn my entire apartment into like a golf course. Pretty cool idea, SpongeBob. But it's time to expose some mistakes. Here is that mistake I was talking about. It is rough.
Uh-oh.
Harder! Hot! Cold! Hot! Cold!
Okay, you're good to go.
So, SpongeBob breaks Squidward's house's eye windows in the gallery, all right? As you can see here, when the ball goes through and breaks the window on Squidward's iconic little like head house here, on the inside of the window, we can see that we're in his gallery, all right? The room where Squidward puts all of his paintings. You can see the paintings on the wall, but later on in the episode, Patrick does a very similar thing and does more destruction to the same windows, all right? That same window that led to the gallery. Only when Patrick does it, the windows are now not in the gallery like earlier, and they're now randomly in Squidward's bedroom. Very weird. To be honest, these windows normally lead to Squidward's bedroom, so it's also a mistake that they ever even showed the gallery at all. But more importantly, first when he broke the windows, it was the gallery, but then when they were broken again, it was Squidward's bedroom, making for a really weird mistake. Next up, we've got ReefBlower. Here's the first mistake. You caught this, I'm proud of you because you got to be paying close attention. So at the beginning of this episode, when we see the front yard of Squidward's house, we can see that there's a flower in a pot right here. Remember this. As eventually as the episode progresses, when we see Squidward in his yard eating later on, that same flower in a pot from the beginning of the episode has just disappeared, and it's not seen again in the episode after that first scene. That even includes this scene towards the ending of the episode where we see Squidward sitting on his doorstep again. It's not there. So it was there at the beginning of the episode randomly and then just disappears for the rest of the episode. Could be a mistake, maybe Squidward got rid of it, but come on, totally a mistake. And here's another one. Speaking of that doorstep I just mentioned, right? Here's the thing. Before this episode, Squidward has never had a doorstep in front of his house. Here's a shot of his house from earlier episodes. There's no doorstep. And in every scene before this moment in ReefBlower, right? Before this one moment where he has the doorstep, there's no doorstep. So throughout the whole episode, he doesn't have a doorstep and then randomly, conveniently gets one so he can sit on it. I mean, that's typical cartoon logic, but kind of funny. Yeah, really funny. Not as funny as this next mistake though. This one's a bit of a nitpick on my end, but I had to mention it. So, Squidward's hammock in his backyard is seen around the 45-second mark of the episode, alright? It's right there, you can see it, remember. Well, in the next scene, where he is seen eating, the two corals that held the hammock and the hammock itself are just nowhere to be found. They just magically disappeared. Maybe Squidward put them away, but this all happens in a matter of seconds, so I think the animators drew it in this shot and then forgot to draw the hammock afterwards. Let's head over to another season 1 banger with even more mistakes, the episode Plankton. Here's that first mistake. Take a look at this. Did you guys see that? It's pretty rough. So at night when SpongeBob is walking home near the beginning of the episode, as you guys just saw, he moves his head to his left, to his right, and the Krusty Krab, which is supposed to be across from the chum bucket, is just missing. Now, this one might be a little weird at first, but take a look at this random clip from another episode, and what you'll notice here is canonically, the Krusty Krab and chum bucket are directly across from one another, and there's this path. So in that scene when SpongeBob was walking home and looking left to right, the Krusty Krab should have been visible right across from the chum bucket. It's funny because SpongeBob also passes by the chum bucket as he walks. The chum bucket should be right across from the Krusty Krab, like literally across from one another. So funny mistake. And of course, guys, here's another one.
Yeah. Now it's time for a little wakey uppy.
This one's interesting. A big part of this episode is that Plankton goes inside SpongeBob and controls his body and uses this controller right here. Now, the words total control can be seen on the controller, especially at first. The words just disappear and reappear multiple times. So very messy. The words total control should have been on the controller the entire time, but I guess they just removed it at times to, make it easier to animate. I don't blame them. 2D animation is hard. And here's the next mistake from Plankton.
This isn't what I had in mind. Let me just grab my pants. Guess I'm not wearing any pants today.
Did you guys catch it? You seen it in the clip. SpongeBob is being controlled by Plankton and starts to walk towards his pants in the middle of the night. And if we look at his tie just randomly turns black when seconds prior it was red. Like, look at it in slow motion. I'm showing it right here. It just randomly turns black. What? Now, right after this, it goes back to normal. It turns back to red. But very strange mistake. Not as strange as this next one, though.
SpongeBob, are you mad?
mediocre clarinet player.
Mediocre?
Okay, so I'm a total nerd for catching this one, but at that point where SpongeBob walks into Squidward's bedroom, you may have noticed that for some reason, it's on the first floor of Squidward's house, when in literally every other episode, here's an example of this, Squidward's bedroom is on the second floor. We can tell because of the wallpaper especially, but yeah, I don't know why Squidward's bedroom is just suddenly on the first floor of his house now. Really big mistake here. This is not a thing and just, yeah, really cracks me up. This next one's also pretty funny though. Take a look at this.
No, 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 no.
Okay, so we just jumped ahead a little bit. We're closer to the ending of the episode. There isn't a ton of mistakes in this episode, but when being forced into the chum bucket lab and screaming, like we can hear SpongeBob screaming, we can hear noise that should be coming from SpongeBob's mouth and his mouth should be moving. If we look at SpongeBob during this scene and we even slow it down a little bit, we'll notice that SpongeBob's mouth does not move at all. Now, this isn't that big of a deal. This is typical for old 2D animation. His mouth doesn't need to be moving all the time, but now that I'm pointing it out, his mouth should be moving and it's kinda weird. Technically a mistake still, just I'll give them an excuse since this is an old episode. But yeah, one more from Plankton. Roll the footage.
No, 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 no.
In the clips you just saw, when SpongeBob jumps in the chum bucket, if we slow it down and pause at the right frame, look, the first half of his head just disappears for a whole split second. Like, look at how weird that looks. He's just missing a piece of him. Now, this scene happens so quickly that like you wouldn't catch this if you were watching the episode, but I got you. The episode Jellyfishing from season 1 also has a lot of strange mistakes, and let's dive into the first one. Roll that footage, take a look at this. As you guys have noticed, this type of mistake is going to be pretty common throughout season 1, and I think it's because SpongeBob's house wasn't just fully, decided on yet, how many windows it would have, etc. But after the scene switches from a shot of Conch Street to solely a shot of SpongeBob's house at the beginning of the episode, look at SpongeBob's house as it's missing a window. And for reference, here's a random shot of SpongeBob's house from another episode. You can see it as this many windows here, and in this one shot, it's missing this window right here. Not that big of a deal, and here's another mistake from Jellyfishing.
But I can't. Bye-bye.
Next time?
Oh, sure, right. Whatever. Like that'll never happen.
It is crazy how many mistakes there are in season 1. I'm sure you guys caught that last one. So when Squidward leaves SpongeBob and Patrick on his bicycle, where is SpongeBob's house? I mean, like, look at this angle. It should be right there, like, but it's just missing. Very strange mistake. And let's keep it moving. Here's the next one.
The early morning in Bikini Bottom, when the jellyfish are buzzing about making their jellyfish jelly.
This one's very strange, and it took me a couple of seconds to fully understand the problem here. So, at the beginning of the episode, the sky is blue, as you can see right here. Remember this, as when SpongeBob and Patrick come out of the pineapple, literally like a second later, the sky is now orange. It looks like, it's like 7 or 8 p.m. You know what I mean? It isn't nighttime yet, but it's getting close to nighttime. Before it was blue, like it was nighttime, now it's orange, like it's the midday. And then, when they eventually chase the jellyfish, seconds later again, the sky is now randomly blue again as if it's nighttime. So weird, dude. Like, the time of day wouldn't change like that. I understand if it went from like blue to orange and then stayed orange, but you could see that the animators forgot that they originally made it blue, then they made it orange, and then they made it blue again. Strange. Very strange. Here's another one though.
Firmly grasp it!
As you guys seen earlier on in the episode, Squidward gets this net literally like injected into his hand. He's wearing a cast, so Patrick forces it and like rips through the cast into his hand. So it's like stuck in his cast. But if you watch throughout the episode, the net switches between his hands. First, it's in his right hand, as you can see here. Then it's in his left. In this scene, very, very weird. And here's another one.
Hey, Squidward!
When SpongeBob says, "Hey, Squidward," his mouth moves as if he's saying something completely else. Like, look at this in slow motion and you'll get what I mean.
Hey, Squidward!
Yeah, very strange audio error there. The Krabby Patty secret formula is a big part of a lot of episodes in SpongeBob. In the episode The Great Patty Capper is no exception, with it being all about the Krabby Patty's secret ingredient going missing. Because of this, it's up to SpongeBob to go around and interrogate everybody. He goes and sees Sandy, he asks Plankton, even his pet snail Gary, and eventually Squidward. Now this is where the mistake takes place. I'm gonna play the clip and hopefully you guys can spot the mistake. And then after I play the clip, I'll come in and like explain it and break it down. All right, roll that footage.
Wait!
Yes?
If something happens to that secret ingredient, don't bother coming back to work.
So at one point, the Krusty Krab goes on lockdown and it gets covered in this shield, as you can see here. So remember, the windows would be covered. Like if you were inside, you would not be able to see outside of the Krusty Krab. Well, if we pay close attention, in one of the scenes in the kitchen, the one I just showed you, after this happens where the Krusty Krab gets like the gate or shield around it, if one looks closely, the background of the order window is the sky, as you can see right here. This is a major mistake. What we should be seeing is the shield covering the windows that like Mr. Krabs put before. So yeah, totally a mistake. Let's head over to another episode. Yo guys, so just a little bit of a heads up. I'm gonna be making some subtle changes on the channel moving forward. A lot of you guys enjoy the sleep content on the channel and I'm gonna keep on doing that. But once a week, I'm also going to be doing one video that's somewhat shorter and it's just a little bit more of an experimental video. And just the point of why I'm saying this is I really need your guys' support. Right now, my channel is really conditioned in the algorithm as like a sleep channel, but I do want to dip out of that a little bit. I still want to be making content for sleeping, but for the longevity of the channel, I want to be producing at least one video a week that's like a normal video, like a 30-minute video. So I'm just asking in the coming weeks, if you guys see one of those from me in your feed, please give it a click, put it on the background or something. It'll really help me out. And yeah, let's get back to this video here. Yes, sir. Next up, we have an iconic episode. This one's a big deal. The episode is Hooky. And I mean, come on, if you're a hardcore SpongeBob fanatic like me, you already know this episode. It's all about SpongeBob and Patrick playing with hooks, despite Mr. Krabs telling them that they could like literally like die from using them. Like we're gonna get to the mistake, but look at this clip of Mr. Krabs telling them what will happen to them if they play with the hooks.
And do you know what happens when you don't float back down?
Gift shop?
You end up vacuum packed. With nothing to look forward to but the smell of mayonnaise.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go to a gift shop either, SpongeBob, so you better stop playing with them. But anyways, it's mistake time. Here's the first mistake.
Again?
Again!
The hooks! No, no, no!
So this one's really weird, and I don't blame you guys for not catching it because it's like a very obscure type of animation error. But during this one scene right here where SpongeBob and Patrick are walking towards the hooks, this frame of animation seems to have some sort of damage to it, as you can see right here. It may look like some sort of random see-through jellyfish or something, but back during more traditional animation days, animators would use these plastic sheets to ink and paint non-background elements, and that's where the damage is. It's not on the actual frame, it's on the sheet over top right here. So this one might seem weird to you guys, but this is like confirmed to be a mistake by SpongeBob staff. So yeah, it's not a see-through jellyfish or something. That's like damage. Let's keep it moving though and head over to an even more interesting mistake, guys. This next episode has mistakes that will blow your brain, and I'm not exaggerating. Who remembers the episode Wormy? I mean, how could anybody forget this classic episode where SpongeBob and Patrick like raise this worm until it becomes a butterfly butterfly and it scares the living heck out of them. It's kind of sad. They like really liked Wormy and then they just become terrified by his presence. But you know what terrified me? The mistakes in this one episode. Let's start with mistake number 1. Roll that footage.
What's that thing?
He's gotta be in here. I think something bad happened to Wormy.
What is that thing?
I don't know, Patrick.
This first mistake is a classic. When SpongeBob and Patrick are about to hide behind the picnic table from Wormy, when they are tweaking, it only happens for a couple of frames, but look, boom, SpongeBob's left arm just disappears. It's missing. The animators just didn't draw it. It's only for a few frames, so it's kind of excusable, but it looks so weird seeing SpongeBob without an arm. Here's mistake number 2 though. Roll that footage.
And best of all, her pets are safe, because that horrible creature is now... headed straight for the Krusty Krab!
This next one is just weird, so I want you to take a look at some of these shots right here. Canonically in SpongeBob, the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket are directly across from one another. But in this episode, randomly, the path from Sandy's tree dome incorrectly leads to the Krusty Krab. Like what? And because of this, the Chum Bucket and its pathway across from the restaurant are just missing. Now, to be fair, this one is a little bit more of like cartoon logic. You know what I mean? Like they just were doing some cartoon logic here and it's not that big of a deal, and this is a mistake. And let's head over to another episode because the mistakes are about to get wild. So there's been a lot of weird mistakes, but this next episode, the plot of it is even more weird. The episode is SquidBob TentaclePants, which already gives you an idea. Yeah, SpongeBob and Squidward getting morphed together sounds like a nightmare, especially for Squidward because he does not like SpongeBob very much. What I don't like personally though are the mistakes in this episode. Let's see if you guys can spot this one.
Hello, molecular separator ray. Well, let's get on with it. My clarinet recital is tomorrow night.
Well, I'm not quite done with it yet.
I have a performance tomorrow. I can't be stuck to that yellow freak. Sandy, please, you gotta do it before the show.
So as you guys seen, SpongeBob and Squidward change colors and limbs a little bit. And as you can see, SpongeBob has this tentacle arm since, you know, he's morphed with Squidward. And more importantly, it's this bluish color, all right? Remember this. Well, at one point where Squidward speaks to Sandy and says, I can't stay stuck to that yellow freak, and it zooms in on SpongeBob over here, the tentacle arm is yellow instead of the usual bluish color. It's supposed to be the bluish color, but you can see why this mistake would have happened. Normally SpongeBob's yellow, so that's why they made it yellow. But in terms of the episode's plot and the coloring and the animation, this is totally a mistake. And here's another one.
Hi?
Did you guys catch it? Well, in the part where Incidental 41 holds his barf that's disgusting, take a look at Sandals over here as his eyes are just not attached to his body. What? Next up is Dopey Dick. Now, the mistake in this episode is very easy to miss. Like this one, I had to watch it a couple of times to actually catch it, okay? It's your guys' turn to catch it. Watch closely. Here's the clip.
The big rope, the little rope, the brownie rope, the smiley rope. And licorice rope.
Again, it's very easy to miss, but after Pat Buck shows this version of Squidward, the smiley rope, like I'm gonna zoom in right here, you can see that there's still like the sky at the top and just a piece of the top is just cut off. It's missing, and that is a pretty bad mistake right there. Next up, Seance Schmeance. This episode is pretty good. Let's keep it moving though and get into mistake number 1. Roll the footage.
Only what's on the menu, old timer.
This ain't no kind of way to treat a loyal customer.
Well, that's a first for you, an unsatisfied customer.
No!
This one's pretty simple, and I'm sure some of you guys caught it. But when SpongeBob goes running to Mr. Krabs' office, there's a massive spelling mistake on the galley grub menu. So Krabby Patty is normally spelled as
Krabbypatty says I.
You can even see this on other shots of the galley grub menu from previous episodes right here. But in this episode, it's misspelt, with Patty being spelled as Pattie. Now, this is a fairly common mistake in SpongeBob. It happens at least once or twice every season, but come on guys, that's not how it's spelled. Walking Small. I love this episode. It's cool seeing SpongeBob and Plankton kind of come together for an episode, even though it kind of bites Plankton in the butt by the ending. Here's the first mistake though.
Gee, Plankton, I'm sorry about the chum bucket.
Forget about that.
Yeah, this one's really funny. So at one point, SpongeBob cleans the sand off of a kid's ice cream, as you guys just saw, all right? So there's no more sand on the ice cream. But a couple scenes later, after SpongeBob cleans it all off, when all the fish surround Plankton as he's crying, that exact same kid is seen with his ice cream, but look, his ice cream is randomly dirty again. Either this kid really likes sandy ice cream and went and put more sand on his ice cream, that's disgusting, or the animators forgot about the shot of SpongeBob cleaning the sand off and then drew it again with sand on it. But this makes for another mistake. Anyways, here's mistake number 2 from Walking Small.
Volleyball, anyone?
I'm gonna make this one quick, but it's pretty spicy. So after Scooter, after he rides with SpongeBob, his pants are green, as you can see here. Remember this, they're green, remember. As like a few scenes later, his pants have randomly changed and they're now purple, and like not enough time has passed for him to go and change his pants. To be fair, the purple pants look good, but yeah, this was definitely an animation error. At first, the animators drew him like this with green pants, and then they must have forgot about it, just like that sandy ice cream, and made his pants purple later on, making for an interesting mistake. When it comes to Bikini Bottom, Patrick is definitely one of the dumbest characters, you know, asking people if mayonnaise is an instrument, or randomly yelling Finland when he gets hit by an object. But honestly, SpongeBob really takes the cake in the episode Imitation Krabs, where Plankton makes a robot version of Mr. Krabs that's very clearly a robot, but SpongeBob over here, the yellow yapper, actually falls for it and believes that this robot version is the real Mr. Krabs. Squidward is at least pretty skeptical about it in the beginning, but anyways, let's dive into the mistakes. This is a really good episode. Roll that footage.
Ravioli, give me the formuoli. SpongeBob, no! Don't listen to him! I'm the real Mr. Krabs! Don't listen to him. He's obviously a robot.
So throughout a majority of this episode, whenever we see Robot Krabs, he's wearing Mr. Krabs' uniform, but he's missing one thing. And you'll notice that Mr. Krabs has this white shirt underneath his uniform. And if we look at Robot Krabs, he does not have this. He does not have the white shirt for some reason. Now this is okay, but the problem is that when Mr. Krabs accuses Robot Mr. Krabs of being, well, you know, a robot, Robot Krabs in this one shot randomly has Mr. Krabs' white shirt. He doesn't have it after this scene, and he didn't have it before this scene, so this was totally a mistake. They just randomly gave Robot Krabs the white shirt, when in every other shot, he doesn't have it. I'm over-explaining, but yeah, totally a mistake, and here's mistake number 3.
I'm just trying to protect the secret formula.
Just remember the most important rule.
No free napkins?
No!
Only discuss the secret recipe with Mr. Krabs.
As Long as you do that, the secret is safe.
This one is a weird one, and I'm a total SpongeBob nerd for even catching it. But in the scene where Mr. Krabs tells SpongeBob that if he regards the secret formula would be safe. The floor of the Krusty Krab, which is always green, like look at this shot right here from the first episode, it's green. It's like literally always green, is randomly blue for this one shot in this episode, which is a very strange mistake. The Krusty Krab floor is never blue. It looks kind of cool as blue, but this is a massive mistake. And guys, let's head over to another episode. Lots of crazy mistakes coming, so stay tuned. I'm saving the best for last. Next up, we have a season 6 episode, and season 6 is very underrated. It's not talked about a bunch. There's some good episodes, but there's also episodes that make me want to just disappear. One of the episodes that is actually pretty good is Plankton's Regular, and this is all about Plankton finally getting a customer for once. It's kind of sad because in the end, this is revealed. Roll the clip.
Not ever again. The deal's off, computer. I can't eat another bite of that slop, no matter how much you pay me.
Yeah, poor Plankton. The dude never even really liked you. But anyways, let's get into the mistakes. Or mistake. There's only one, and this one's pretty interesting.
I am such a clumsy oaf. I sure hope nothing happens to this Krabby Patty. Oh no! Too late! Ah, oops. Ah, oops. Ah, oops. No. Come on, Nat. Just one accidental bite.
Did you guys catch it? So, when SpongeBob tries feeding Nat the Krabby Patty, when we first see the Krabby Patty, we can see that there's cheese on it, all right? Like, there's cheese on this patty. I kind of want to take a bite out of it, to be honest. But here's the problem. In the next scene after this, look, the cheese is missing now. It's just gone. Here's a side-by-side. At first, the burger had cheese, and then the cheese is just randomly gone. And no, I don't think anybody removed it. I think the animators removed it because they forgot about drawing it with cheese the first time. So, get wrecked. Mistakes happen, and I caught ya. So, let's head over to another episode and catch some more mistakes. Let's do it. Because it's the earliest season in SpongeBob, season 1 has a majority of the mistakes. I mean, the show was new, animation was not as established at that point. The show did premiere in the late 90s after all, so there's a lot of mistakes in this era. And the episode Fools in April is definitely one of these episodes with a bunch of mistakes. Here's the first one. Roll that clip.
Squidward, is all that true?
Yes, SpongeBob. Yes, it's all true.
Even the part about the lima beans and the car chase?
What? Yes, whatever. But you have to promise not to tell anybody.
I promise.
Really?
When SpongeBob mentions the lima beans in Car Chase to Squidward, it's really quick, but his 2 teeth have actually been colored black, as you can see right here, which is not healthy. Like, go brush your teeth. Like, black teeth is not a good sign. Like, you probably got some cavities in there, SpongeBob. Probably from all of those Krabby Patties. Anyways, though, here's mistake number 2 from Fools in April.
April Fools!
Now this one isn't hard to miss. This one's very blatant, especially with where we paused like the mistake during the preview. It's pretty straightforward, but when SpongeBob is taken around the bar, there's a frame where his whole mouth is just gone. It's just missing. It's only for a frame, which is like half a second, but yeah, he should have his mouth. Kinda lazy to not draw it, but I imagine this was just a slip up by the animators since it's only for a frame. It's still a mistake though. And we've got more. Let's head over to another episode, guys. Things are gonna get crazier as we go. Next up, we have season 13's The Big Top Flop. There's only one mistake, but it is pretty rough, so take a look.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, I don't get it. Why are we dressed like this?
Because everyone in the circus is sick today.
Do I have to do this?
So as you guys just seen, one big part of this episode is that Patrick wears a sea bear costume, all right? And as we can see early on, there's a white tag on the sea bear costume. It's right here and it's white. Remember this. As eventually we get this scene where Squidward's clown outfit is revealed. And if we take a look at Patrick's sea bear costume, the tag is now colored as the same brown as his fins, which is totally a mistake. At first it was white, but now it looks like this. You'd think that this type of stuff just wouldn't happen anymore in modern SpongeBob. I mean, it's season 13, but it's 2D animation, mistakes happen. But anyways, let's head over to another episode. This episode we're going to be covering now, There Will Be Grease. SpongeBob season 13 is actually really good, just saying. But anyways, here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Get some today. There's no excuse. Everyone needs everything juice.
Okay, so take a look at this little dude right here, Incidental 118C. Now, at the beginning of the fantastic Everything Juice song, I love this song, he's seen with this lavender colored dorsal fin right here, all right? It's lavender, remember this, it's right here. But if you watch closely near the ending of the Everything Juice song, Incidental 118C can now be seen with this like dark green dorsal fin. This is definitely a mistake. Dude's dorsal fin, which is a part of his body, didn't just change colors randomly. And I've got another one. Roll the footage. Let's see if you guys can spot this one.
You did pretty good back there, Krabs. But now it's time to watch a master.
Yeah, this one is just bad. So take a look at our girl Sandy right here. I don't think I need to tell you guys that Sandy, because she's a squirrel, has a tail. Whenever Sandy opens her door, where is this girl's tail? It's just missing, which again is totally a mistake. She's supposed to have a tail. She's had it ever since her debut in the show, Tea at the Triton. Okay, that's not it for this episode though. Anyways, here's another mistake from There Will Be Grease.
It's a wonder, it's a miracle, you just can't have enough. So we say hey!
This one's kind of technical and it's very easy to miss, but when Mr. Krabs gives Incidental 37B a bottle of everything juice during the song, Incidental 37B's tongue and the inside of his mouth are just like disappearing for an entire frame. It's there, but then for one frame, it just disappears. That is weird, dude. You don't just lose the inside of your mouth, let alone your tongue. SpongeBob Season 8 is kind of all over the place. I think there are some episodes that really stand out and are fan favorites, but there's a lot of episodes that aren't bad, but they just go under the radar. And the Googly Artiste is one of those episodes. But now it's time for the dirty, dirty mistakes, the spiciness. Roll the footage.
You did it, Patrick. You found your inspiration.
And I'm gonna do more of those patty thingies.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught that one, but in one frame, Incidental 107 over here, his mouth is just missing. Mistakes where like somebody's lips or eyes are missing are very common in SpongeBob. They're very common in 2D animation in general, but this one is just bad. It is right there. Like, how could anybody miss this? I'm pretty sure as a kid, when I seen this on TV, I even caught this mistake because look, that is one blatant mistake and it is bad. And there's more, guys. Let's head over to mistake number 2 from this episode.
Oh, not you again. May I take your order?
So if we head back to SpongeBob Season 1, any episode where the Krusty Krab appears and we take a look at the galley grub menu, as you can see, Krabby Patty is spelled as Krabby-Patty, okay? It's always been spelled like this. This is like very important. Well, when Patrick over here looks at the Krusty Krab menu in the Googly Artiste, take a look at Krabby Patty, as Patty is just weirdly misspelled as P-A-T-T-I-E. That is not a thing, so I don't know what was going on with this one. Patty is P-A-T-T-Y, not P-A-T-T-I-E. Like what? Anyways though, let's head over to another mistake from this episode.
I've run out of rocks to put googly eyes on. I've run out of rocks.
Got anything else?
The artist needs alone time.
He's so eccentric.
For this next one, you have to really hear me out and understand 2D animation for it to really hit. But while Harold says he's so eccentric, take a look at Norma's facial features, as it looks like her face is nearly falling off. As a matter of fact, they seem to be slightly detached from her face. I'm zooming in here, and again, I guess I could be overthinking this one. What do you guys think? I definitely think that this was a bit of a animation error, not a huge one, but girl's face is literally sliding off of her and is detached. So damn dude, go get that checked out. Next up is Boating Buddies, which is all about Squidward having to attend Mrs. Puff's boating school for once after getting a ticket. Can you imagine why he got a ticket though? Well, let me show you. I'm gonna play the clips. You guys can probably guess who caused him to get a ticket.
Bon voyage, nincompoop.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Squidward sometimes. We all like to make fun of him. He's a very grumpy guy and he definitely needs to take a chill pill and be more happy. But I would be pretty mad too if I was Squidward sometimes. But anyways, here's the first mistake.
If you need any help, I've taken this test hundreds of times.
How many times do I have to tell you? I am not your buddy. SpongeBob. SpongeBob, I need your help.
This one happens really fast, but in the scene where Squidward is talking to SpongeBob about him needing his help, we can see incidental 7 over here, and you'll notice they're purple like they always are. But here's the problem. In the very next shot, she randomly changes to pink, and that's the exact same character, but they just randomly change colors in the middle of a scene, and it looks so awkward. Talk about a mistake.
Thanks for the ride home, Mr. Krabs. Just take the next right. Mr. Krabs, we just passed the turnoff.
SpongeBob is a very hard worker. I think we can all agree that the Krusty Krab would probably go out of business if SpongeBob wasn't there, which we've seen before. We go back to the episode Pickles, where SpongeBob forgot how to make a Krabby Patty and couldn't work, and the Krusty Krab was falling apart, dude. Keep Squidward out of the kitchen. Look at this. Well, we kind of get a taste of this in the episode Bummer Vacation, as Mr. Krabs forces SpongeBob to take a break. What really needed to happen, though, is that Nickelodeon needed to give their animators a break, because there's a bunch of mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one. Roll the footage.
You're right, Gary. It is unhealthy to think about the Krusty Krab while I'm on vacation. I need to get out of the house.
Yeah, so we're starting off with a banger because this mistake is just, yeah, it's a bad one. Now, to be fair, I can understand how the animators kind of missed it because it's so quick, but at the same time, I mean, just let me explain. All right, so when SpongeBob admits that it's unhealthy to think about the Krusty Krab while on vacation and that he needs to get out of the house, our boy is missing his legs. What? Where are his legs? They just didn't draw them and it looks so weird. How you forget to draw a character's legs too is just insane to me. So yeah, here's mistake number 2 though.
The right tools for the job. Whoa. They put a tiny me in this belly scratcher.
Okay, so this one's a bit of a nitpick, but here's some context. Take a look at this PNG of Patrick, our favorite pink starfish. One thing you'll notice is that while his body is pink, Patrick's eyelids are always purple. But in the clips I just showed you guys, when Patrick is looking at the reflection of himself in SpongeBob's spatula, the animators goofed a little bit because they gave him pink eyelids, when this is incorrect. He never has pink eyelids. You go back to season 1, 2, 3, any episode, and he always has purple eyelids, so this was a little mistake. It's not the end of the world, Patrick is gonna survive, but I got you, Nickelodeon, get wrecked. Here's mistake number 3. Now, I don't know if this was actually a mistake or not, but it was a very weird decision, that's for sure. But SpongeBob seems to be wearing his pants while he's in the shower. This is a kid show, so that might be why. It might be a situation where they don't, they don't want to show him naked, but kind of a mistake. Man shouldn't be wearing his pants. But anyways, let's head over to another episode, guys. There's a lot crazier mistakes coming up that are much worse than the ones I just covered. I'll admit that last one was kind of weak, so yeah, let's head over to another episode. Dude, imagine going your entire life without a nose. Like, you could never smell anything. Well, it turns out this is exactly what's been going on for Patrick for the past, like, however many seasons. As the episode No Nose Knows is all about Patrick finally getting a nose and actually being able to smell stuff. It makes for a bunch of hilarious moments. Like, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but here's a quick compilation of Patrick smelling stuff for the first time. It's so funny. Okay, it's mistake time. Here's the first mistake from No Nose Knows. Try to point the mistake out before I reveal it and break it down. Put it in the comments.
Well, I guess I won't be eating those.
My mouth can't take these conflicting flavors!
Okay, so this right here is our boy Fred. We've talked about him many times before. And when Fred first appears at the Bikini Bottom Bakery and is blue, he has like a girly voice, all right? Remember this as it's important. In this episode, it's established that he has a girly voice, and that's okay. The problem is that like later on in the episode, when that same blue version of Fred appears inside the Krusty Krab and he speaks, he randomly has a whole different voice and has like a deeper boyish voice now, like randomly. Like, what? I'm gonna play both clips back to back again so you can hear the difference. It just, yeah, a really funny choice on their end.
Well, I guess I won't be eating those.
My mouth can't take these conflicting flavors!
How do you get a character's voice messed up like this? Like, whatever. Let's head over to the next mistake in No Nose Knows.
Doo-doo-doo. Hi, Pat.
Take a bath, Fleabag!
So as you guys know, Sandy is a squirrel, meaning that she cannot breathe underwater, which is why she wears her air helmet all the time, right? She needs this or she would drown. Now, what's funny is in this episode, there's a scene that you guys just saw where Patrick sprays an air freshener on Sandy, and for some reason, our girl chokes, but this would be impossible since she's wearing her air helmet. She wouldn't be able to smell it, breathe it in, or anything, so this was a mistake. It's cartoon logic though, like this isn't that big of a deal. This is a typical type of cartoon mistake, but it's still a mistake and it's kind of funny. Let's keep it moving though.
Because it's on top of Mount Climb Up and Fall Off!
One older episode of SpongeBob that is like super underrated in my opinion is Valentine's Day, where SpongeBob has an elaborate like best friend Valentine's Day gift for Patrick, but Patrick thinks that SpongeBob is being a cheap, lazy friend. It's really funny. We're not here for all that though. We're here for mistakes, and to be honest, this episode doesn't have a bunch, but I was able to find one that I haven't covered before in like a previous video. Here's the first one. Before I come back in and explain the mistake, try to guess the mistake on your own and comment it below. All right, roll that footage.
Patrick!
So in the clips you guys just saw, we can see that there's a bunch of fish standing behind SpongeBob, right? This is fine, but the issue here is as the scene progresses, the amount of fish standing behind SpongeBob will change in a matter of seconds. In one shot, we can see that there's this many people behind him, and then in this shot, there's this many people, and then it even changes again in this shot. I'm showing all three side by side, and because this all happens in a matter of seconds, this is 100% a mistake. Like, they forgot about the amount of fish behind SpongeBob and just kept on changing it. Only a nerd like me would notice this, but yeah, it's a mistake. And let's keep it moving. Plenty of more crazy mistakes coming up, way better than this one. Next up, we have an episode I really love. It's Sandy's Rocket. Here's some funny clips, and then we're gonna get right into the mistakes from this one.
New alien out window protectant. It's an egg sac. Let's look at the embryo. Twins.
All right, let's get into the mistakes. I'm like dying to show you them. Here's the first one.
Oh, hush, silly. This is for harvesting moon rocks.
Well, when you're done playing with rocks, you can use that.
So here's the problem, guys. In this scene, Sandy is showing SpongeBob how the net gun works, and she blows on the bubbles coming out of the gun. You can see it right here. I'm even showing it in slow motion. Here's the issue though. Sandy's wearing a helmet, so how would she be able to blow on anything? If she exhaled, it would just stay in her air helmet. It wouldn't go into the air. So yeah, this is just a weird mistake, and here's another one. This one's easy. But when SpongeBob's trying to sleep at nighttime, if we take a look at SpongeBob's house, it's missing a window. Normally, SpongeBob's house looks like this and has this amount of windows, but in this one shot, there's only one, which is, again, totally a mistake. Here's a side-by-side of like another shot, and just, yeah, totally a mistake.
Toy, which toy?
Not me, not me, not me!
I'll take this big, ugly one!
You know, I feel like season 13 needs some more praise. There's a lot of really good episodes in season 13. It isn't perfect, but Swimming Fools is a good one. It does have one mistake though. And I'll admit, this one's really easy to miss, but once you catch it, it's actually like a pretty bad mistake. I don't know how they missed it. If you're just a regular viewer, it won't stand out, but if you're like an animator on the episode, I don't know how they missed this one. Anyways though, roll the clip. So take a look at this shot of Patrick's house right here. As you can see, there's always this weather vane on top of Patrick's house right here. To be completely honest with you guys, before making this video, I didn't know what a weather vane was, but it's like this arrow thing right on top of Patrick's rock home. Well, in Swimming Fools, when Squidward screams as he dives down with the diving board, take a look as the weather vane on top of Patrick's house is just gone. Poof. It's completely missing. And again, as you can see in this shot, another shot of Patrick's house, it should be right there. Also, just saying, not that big of a deal, but take a look at this clip from Naughty Nautical Neighbors real fast and take a look at SpongeBob's backyard.
Well, there's a bad name.
Yeah, our boy SpongeBob has a garage in the back of his house. To be fair, that episode is from like season 2 or 3, so I mean, things could have changed, but I think that was just a continuity error.
My snail.
Patrick, that's a rock.
Yeah, thanks, I know.
Hey, what are you standing on anyway?
Next up is the Great Snail Race. Now, I love this episode. It is a banger. It's a classic. It's all about Squidward getting a snail and SpongeBob and Squidward both competing with their pet snails in the Great Snail Race to win. Who do you guys got your money on, all right? Gary, Snelly over here, Squidward's snail, or Rocky, Patrick's pet rock? Comment down below, but let's get into the mistakes. Here's the first one.
But for this sport, the crowd is going absolutely nuts for Larry.
So this first mistake is very spicy. In the clips you guys just saw, in the audience at Oyster Stadium, for one, Fred over here, Fred's the dude who always screams, "My leg!" But yeah, Fred, there's nothing wrong with his leg this time, but he is missing his pants, as you can see here, which is totally a mistake. They just didn't draw my guy's pants.
Property of Squidward tent poles.
That's tennis ball! Tentacles! Come on, Snelly.
Okay, so I will admit this one is kind of a nitpick. I'm a total SpongeBob nerd for even catching it. But let's take a look at a PNG of Patrick, alright? And one thing you'll notice is that Patrick's eyelids are always purple. I know his whole body is pink, he's a pink starfish, but whenever he squints or closes his eyes, we can see that his eyelids are purple, not pink. Well, for this one scene, the animators messed up a little bit. They must have forgot about this, as right after Squidward says that's tennis balls, Patrick blinks his eyes, but his eyelids are pink right here instead of purple, which, as I mentioned, is a mistake. It's kind of a weak mistake though, I'll admit, so let's head over to mistake number 3.
No! Don't give me that look! I said no, mister! Get going, Gary! Go, 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 go!
This one's much worse. Did you guys catch it? This one is pretty wild. So, SpongeBob is wearing a red coach's outfit, alright? Remember this, he wears it throughout the whole episode. However though, when in Oyster Stadium, when SpongeBob says, "Don't give me that look," well, look, there's a close-up shot where Gary is on the floor and SpongeBob's pants are blue. When if we look at the clip right before this, his pants are red. Like I said, his pants are red throughout the whole episode, but the animators messed up for this one shot and gave him blue pants, which looks incredibly strange. Especially when in the next shot, he goes back to the proper color of pants, so yeah. Crazy, man, but stay tuned, guys, because we still got lots of mistakes coming up. We're gonna be covering tons of wild mistakes.
Patrick, what is that?
Oh, that's a lens cap!
Did you just put that on?
No, I put it there right before we started filming.
Some of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob are the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes. I love them. Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even the 5th one was pretty good. But one that's very underrated is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 6, the motion picture. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode in the comments, but let's dive into this episode's one mistake. The mistake is really bad.
Good morning, SpongeBob.
Everything. Well, at least we got the footage.
Yeah, I got the footage.
Did you guys catch it? It happens very, very quickly. But when Patrick says, "Good morning, SpongeBob," take a look at his pants as they're weirdly miscolored. It seems like they got the colors flipped. I'm showing a side-by-side of what his pants normally look like. And dude, what is going on here? Like, it just looks so awkward in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 6. I'm zooming in, and yeah, that's not how Patrick's pants are supposed to look. So yeah, let's keep it moving though, and head over to another episode. This is gonna be fun today.
For me, helping friends from up above. These are the things that I love.
Next up, we have the finale for SpongeBob Season 3, The Sponge Who Could Fly. And you know, I love this episode. It's Season 3, so of course I love it. It's classic, but I will admit the plot is kind of weird, where SpongeBob wishes that he could fly with the jellyfish and eventually gets his pants inflated, causing him to fly. Here's the first one. This one happens quick, but as you guys just saw, there's this moment where a bunch of little SpongeBobs run around in a circle. They're so cute. I want my own little SpongeBob. How about you guys? You want to take one of those little SpongeBobs home? Anyways, if we watch closely while they run around in the circle, one of them just disappears for a frame. Like, they go poof. Like, I'm showing it in slow motion and looping it, and yeah, they just disappear and it looks so awkward. Like, where did they go? They come back, to be fair, but yeah, mistake. And here's mistake number 2 from the Sponge Who Could Fly.
No, he owes us favors.
Get him!
Alright, so this one has to do with our boy Fred over here again. So when he first speaks up, we can see that Fred is purple. Remember this? He's purple. But as the episode progresses and we get this shot where he walks up to the cliff, he's now randomly brown. Now I know he's an incidental character and these get duplicated and recolored all the time, but the problem here is that we literally already seen Fred in this episode and he has spoken dialogue. And when he speaks, our boy is purple. But yeah, then he appears again later and I guess my boy got some plastic surgery or something because he's a whole different color. He's brown now. Pretty weird. It's a mistake and let's keep it moving. Lots of spiciness is coming up, so stay tuned. Also, by the way, I respond to the comments of all subscribers, so if you click subscribe right now and leave a comment, I'll respond for sure within the next 2 or 3 days. So do it. Click subscribe so we can chat. Anyways, let's keep it rolling.
Okay, you ready?
I think so.
This is our chance.
Oh, you don't have to tell me, SpongeBob.
All right.
Is he still there?
Let's check.
Next up is the episode Funbelievable from SpongeBob Season 13 and has 3 mistakes. Here's the first one.
I think I have a nut ache.
Sorry, Sandy. Hey, Rube, should we come back later?
Honestly, I had to double take for this one, as when Rube says yeah, later would be good, take a look at Sandy's stomach. It's missing. It's not supposed to look like that. Normally, as most of you probably know, Sandy looks like this, but in this one shot, yeah, I don't know what's going on with her stomach, but yeah, these SpongeBob animators messed up a little bit. Let's keep it going though and head over to mistake number 2 from this same episode.
Restroom is right around the corner, boys.
No, Patrick and I have something to show you. It's Funbelievable.
Now this one is just bad, as when SpongeBob says it's Funbelievable, his mouth disappears for a split second. Mistakes happen sometimes, but dude lost his entire mouth. SpongeBob needs that to eat Krabby Patties, so I mean, come on guys. Here's another mistake though. This one is just funny, so stay tuned.
We're ready for you, Rube.
Are you sure?
So take a close look at this scene while SpongeBob and Patrick rise out of these coffins as SpongeBob's tie is colored brown like his pants. Normally SpongeBob's tie looks like this. I don't even think I need to show you guys, it's red, but for some reason here it's brown. It's most likely what happened here is the animators got mixed up with the color of SpongeBob's pants, which are brown, and made the tie the same color, but whatever. Mistakes happen, and I've got lots of more, even crazier mistakes than these ones. So let's head over to our next episode for today, guys. SpongeBob Season 10 has some weird episodes, including the episode The Incredible Shrinking Sponge, an episode where this happens. Take a look at these clips. Yeah, SpongeBob gets shrunk and it results in a ton of chaos. It's a good episode. But what isn't good is this first mistake. Roll the clip. So take a look at this shot of the Krusty Krab. This is even from back in season 1, the first ever season of the Krusty Krab. And as you can see, there is this enter sign right here in front of the Krusty Krab, right there. Boom, you can see it. It's been there since the first season. But when tiny SpongeBob is launched and hits the Krusty Krab and it zooms out, look, the enter sign is just missing. It's gone. What's funny is it appears early on in the episode, but in this shot, it's just gone. I guess the animators forgot about it for a second, and it's not that big of a deal, but it should be there, guys. Anyways, though, here's another mistake from this episode. This one's much worse.
We want our action figure back!
Ow!
Listen up, guys. So this character right here is Incidental 160, all right? He's a young kid fish character. And as you can see, he has a purple body and a blue shirt, a light blue shirt. Remember this, it's very important. He wears it throughout this whole episode, but during this one scene when they're like ducking by the cash register station, Incidental 160 has completely lost his shirt. He has the sleeves there, but we should still be able to see the shirt. I don't want anybody trying to make an excuse for this. It could be because of the angle, but nah, they just were too lazy to draw him with his shirt again from behind, and that was a lazy mistake, guys. Like, look at him, he's missing his shirt. Hey, that's not it though, guys. This next episode has some crazy mistakes, some of the most wild mistakes I've ever covered, so let's do it. Next up is another banger from season 12. This is actually one of my favorite season 12 episodes, Stormy Weather. It's a good one. This is like a 9 out of 10 episode.
Sorry.
Okay. I know what you guys clicked on. It's mistakes. Here's the first mistake. For this one, only true fans are really gonna get it.
Hey, Doppler. You're not the only one who knows how to use a leaf blower, sucker.
Like I said, you need to be a true fan for this one to really hit, alright? But if we go back to SpongeBob Season 1, literally, the second episode is titled ReefBlower, and it's all about SpongeBob using this reef blower right here, okay? This is from Season 1, May 1st, 1999 is when the episode aired. Now, the mistake is that in the episode Stormy Weather, for some reason, whenever the reef blower is brought up, it's referred to as a leaf blower, okay? A leaf blower. Nah, this is a reef blower, and if you're a true SpongeBob fan, you know that, and whoever wrote this episode and wrote like the scripts should have known that themselves. I mean, seriously, there's an entire episode named after it, but whatever. Okay, here's another one, guys, one more mistake from this episode.
Oh, now don't be scared. SpongeBob knows just what a growing storm cloud needs. Hot steam.
This one's simple. So, when SpongeBob says SpongeBob knows just what a growing storm cloud needs, take a look at our dude's teeth as his white teeth turn yellow for an entire frame. I make this joke all the time, guys, but seriously, SpongeBob, go brush those teeth, my boy. That's gnarly. Imagine how bad his breath smells. Yes, sir, we're back to the good stuff. We're actually back to the Patrick Star Show, because the episode Survivoring has a couple of mistakes I want to cover. And remember, guys, the Patrick Star Show is technically SpongeBob. It's all in the same universe. SpongeBob is definitely the best out of all the shows and the funniest, but the Patrick Star Show gets too much flack. It's actually pretty good. And here, take a look at some of these funny clips from the episode Survivoring, and then we'll get into the 2 really bad mistakes in this episode. Stay tuned, because you do not want to miss these mistakes.
This isn't roughing it.
This massage table's being pretty rough. That's way better than my toilet.
See, the Patrick Star Show ain't so bad, guys. You gotta give it a chance, but let's expose some mistakes. Here's the first one.
Noises!
I was speaking isopod.
Okay, so for some context, this character right here is Squidina, and in the clips you guys just saw, Squidina is about to summon the isopod butlers. And if we watch very closely, look, our girl, her arm disappears for a frame. It just goes poof, making for a really weird shot. Now it does come back afterwards, but how this happened for a frame, I don't know. It's very, very silly, and mistakes happen, but here's mistake number 2 from the same episode.
With their help, I was able to build the shelter of my dreams.
All right, listen closely because this one's like interesting. It's weird. So when Squidina takes Patrick and Cecil to the back of her mansion, the foreground layer of the shot can be seen cut off for a frame right here. I'm zooming in and I'm putting an arrow, and you guys can tell that this spot was supposed to like go longer, but it gets cut off early. Like, look at how weird this looks. It's only for a frame, but dude, it looks so strange. Let's do Skill Crane next. I feel like this is an underrated episode of SpongeBob. It's all about this new like skill crane machine being installed in the Krusty Krab, and Squidward doing everything he can to win its grand prize. As a matter of fact, here's a quick compilation of all the times Squidward tries and fails to win the machine, and him getting angry, like he gets really mad. We're gonna get right to the mistake afterwards, so stay tuned as it's a really bad mistake, but yeah, roll the footage, it's really funny. See, it's a good episode. Go watch it after this video. But for now, let's cover the mistakes in this episode.
Mr. Krabs, some guy in a suit wants to come in before we open.
What? Guy in a suit? No!
Okay, so this one's weird. Now, when this episode first starts in the clips you guys just saw, R.A. Penny Pincher's truck is right in front of the Krusty Krab windows, right here. All right, look at the shot, remember this. Really take in how close it is to the Krusty Krab windows and the restaurant itself. As when it eventually cuts to Squidward mopping, the truck is like farther away, way farther away, and the Krusty Krab clam sign, this one right here, here's a normal shot of the Krusty Krab. This sign right here that's always here, in this shot of Skill Crane, is missing. And remember, this all happens in a matter of seconds, so it's not like dude went into his truck and like moved it farther back. The animators drew it like this, forgot, and then drew it like this. Not a huge deal, but still a mistake and pretty weird, dude. SpongeBob definitely takes his job way too seriously. We've seen this in many episodes before, but a prime example of this is Missing Identity, where he loses his name tag, and instead of just getting a new one, he goes on a whole adventure. It's a good episode though, I can't complain. It does have some mistakes though. Here's the first one.
Squidward, what happened?
Oh, you fainted because you lost your name tag or something.
Ah! Huh?
Okay, so take a look at the Krusty Krab, the inside of it, the interior of it, and we'll look at Squidward's workstation and we'll notice that there's a cash register there. I mean, there should be, right? Because he's like the cashier. It's there in every other episode, but in Missing Identity, when Squidward is bragging about being a genius, that cash register is just missing. They just didn't draw it. Kinda lazy, but I'll let it slide. This is a cartoon, but it should be right there. Here's another mistake from this episode, and this one's really gonna blow your brain because it's a massive plot hole technically.
Hey, SpongeBob.
Not now, Patrick.
I know where your name tag is.
Where? I don't see my name tag up here. Now that my horrific incident of terror is over, how about some breakfast?
Did you guys catch it? So, spoiler, but at the ending of this episode, it's revealed that his name tag, SpongeBob's name tag, was on his back the entire time. Like, this dude went the whole episode just tweaking about his name tag, but it was literally attached to him the entire time. Like, I don't know if it's Patrick that's the dumb one. I love you though, SpongeBob. Anyways though, that's the big reveal at the ending of the episode. But here's the problem, right? There are multiple times where we see him from behind in this episode before the the reveal. For example, when sliding into Gary here, we can see his back, or going inside the second time when he's retracing his steps, we can see his back right here, or when he's looking at the dumpster with Patrick, we can see his behind right here. Trust me, I'm showing you SpongeBob's behind for a reason, because that name tag is missing. Like I said, the whole reveal is that it was on his back the whole time, but it wasn't. We see his back multiple times throughout the episode and there's no name tag. So a bit of a plot hole here, some cartoon logic for sure, but let's keep it moving and head over to some mistakes that are a lot worse than these ones. This was just the beginning. I'm gonna make this one quick. It's from the episode Wig Struck, where SpongeBob finds a wig and thinks he's cool. Like, I'm gonna get to the mistake really quickly, but look at this clip of SpongeBob thinking he's so cool with this wig.
Hey, Square Fashion, nice couture.
Why, thank you.
So that, huh?
Nice do, SpongeBob.
To be fair, he does look kinda cool with hair, but yeah, here's that quick mistake I was talking about.
I got so much enjoyment out of the wig myself, I assumed everyone else did too.
It's time to be strong.
I know.
It takes place in the clips you guys just saw, where Sandy convinces SpongeBob to throw away his awesome wig. Like, what, Sandy? Be a better friend. But if you watch closely, as they walk towards the cliff, Sandy's tail is just gone. And what makes it even funnier is that before this, she has her tail for the whole episode, as you can see in these shots. But from this point onward, her tail's just gone after this scene. It's missing here, and then it's just gone for the rest of the episode. Poor Sandy, she needs to get her tail back. But yeah, let's keep it moving and head over to even crazier mistakes, guys. I'm saving the worst mistakes for last. It's gonna get crazier as we go. This next one is one of my personal favorites. It's the episode Krabs a la Mode, where Plankton has this plan to like flood or freeze the Krusty Krab, which he does, but Mr. Krabs, being the businessman he is, instead of it ruining the Krusty Krab, he just turns the Krusty Krab into like an ice skating ring and makes even more money. It's actually hilarious. What's not so hilarious though are the mistakes in this episode, and there's a couple. Let's start with this one. Roll the footage. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Order up.
Did you guys catch it? This first one's very easy to miss, but when one of the Krabby Patties lands on Squidward in the clips you guys just saw, at first there is lettuce, all right? Some leafy green lettuce right here. However though, like seconds later in the next shot, we still see the Krabby Patties, but the lettuce is just magically gone. Maybe Squidward ate it, but what I actually think happened here is the animators drew the Krabby Patties with lettuce, and then in this next shot forgot to draw the lettuce again. Definitely a mistake. Here's mistake number 2 from the same episode.
Run, you fools! Run!
This one is funny and like really bad, but at one point when Plankton is driving the Clamboni, if we look closely and we zoom in right here, Incidental 103 and Incidental 157 do not have legs. Like, there's no legs at all. And if we look over at Incidental 41, he does not have lower legs. They gave him some of his legs, but like, yeah, this one's like bad. This is a rough one in terms of mistakes here. 3 and 1, and how do you forget to draw characters' legs? Believe it or not though, there's more. Here's mistake number 3 from Krabs a la Mode.
How cold does Krabs keep this place anyway? 62 degrees! I'm gonna set it to a toasty 63. Ha! Do not touch thermostat ever.
This is another funny one. So at the beginning of the episode, Mr. Krabs turns the thermostat down to 62 because he wants it to be a little more chilly. But if you actually look at Mr. Krabs when he does it, he turns it the wrong way. He turns it to the right, which is to increase, not to the left, which would decrease the temperature. And this isn't some like weird bikini bottom water thermostat, because at other moments in the episode, we can see that right increases the temperature and left decreases the temperature. Yeah, that's a mistake, and we've got more that are even crazier than this one. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Who remembers this character right here, Fred? He's the dude who would always yell, "My leg." Yeah, that guy, he's iconic. Well, he got his very own episode in season 11, appropriately titled "My Leg." And dude gets his leg broken a ton of times in this episode. I personally love this episode. I feel bad for Fred. Anyways though, it's mistake time, baby. Here's the first one.
I'm in love with a nurse.
Oh, you're in love with a nurse! Fred, I've got an idea. Why don't we hurt your leg so you can be reunited with your lady fair?
This first one is bad, dude. But during this scene where SpongeBob turns into a heart, take a look at one of these red hearts right here as it clips through Fred. I'm gonna loop the small section of it going through him, and I'm gonna zoom in and make it play in slow motion, dude. Literally, dude, it's like going through his body, which is totally an animation mistake. The layer of the heart is supposed to be either on top of him or behind him, but yeah, in this shot, it's clipping right through his body. Like I said, it's bad. And here's another mistake.
Just your leg? All right, Fred.
My leg! He's really stressing out, Dr. Charlie Horse.
Take off your shoes and follow me.
This one isn't as bad, but so going back over to Fred over here, throughout the series, Fred is never seen with shoes. He just never wears shoes. And even in this episode, he doesn't really wear shoes, but the animator slipped up, and in one scene only, is this healer scene right here. Look, he's randomly wearing shoes. He isn't wearing shoes after this, so just yeah. It might not sound like a mistake, but in terms of the character's design, it's a continuity mistake. Okay, you guys know the drill. Let's head over to another episode with some spicy mistakes. The season 6 episode, Ditchin'. I know what you guys are here for. You guys are here for spicy mistakes, so let's dive into the first one.
Can anyone tell me what the hand signal is for a left turn?
Ooh, I gotta go to the...
I'd say so. And hurry back. No dilly-dallying.
Thanks. Will do.
So here's the deal. We actually have 3 mistakes in one scene. It all takes place in the classroom at Mrs. Puff's boating school, and pretty much what happens is everything looks like this at first, as you can see, but then when SpongeBob is rushing to the door to leave, everything looks like this. Let's break it down a little bit more than that, as these mistakes are really bad. So for one, Incidental 41, this is how they normally look. Now, at first, Incidental 41, his body and pants are yellow and blue. You can see it, all right? Yellow and blue. And then in the next shot, it changes randomly to blue and brown, which looks incredibly awkward. Then we have Incidental 46 over here. At first, his bottom, all right, the bottom part of his character model is green, okay? You can see it, it's green right here. But then, in the next shot, it changes to red randomly, like what? Okay, and now finally, there's this fish right here sitting behind SpongeBob's desk. At first, it's Incidental 47, as you can see, all right? Incidental 47 is sitting right there behind SpongeBob's desk. But then in that next shot, he changes to a completely different character. He's not Incidental 47 anymore, and now he's Incidental 42. Like, that's wild, dude. Of course, we ain't done yet though, guys. Cartoon Corey's got the good for you guys, because I got more mistakes and they're wild. Next up is a really gross episode, Fungus Among Us, which the title can already give you an idea of what's going on in this episode. Here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
It was Squidward! He gave you all the ick! Let us apprehend that careless contaminator!
Did you guys catch it? Well, the mistake revolves around this incidental right here, this background character known as Fancy Fish. Now, normally with incidentals, they have like a skin color and then they wear clothes, but the clothing is never like the same color as their skin, right? Well, if we take a look at Fancy Fish as they're jumping onto SpongeBob, his skin is actually the same color as the sleeves of his shirt, which is totally a mistake. As like I said, right? Like the clothing is never the same color as the skin of these these characters, or else it would make it look like the clothing is their skin. So by SpongeBob's rules, this is totally a mistake. And guys, here's an even worse mistake from the same episode.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob SquarePants returning for duty, sir.
This one's a quick one, but when SpongeBob says, SpongeBob SquarePants returning for duty, sir, take a look at this dork's sleeves, as they're colored yellow instead of white, which is totally a mistake. And there's more, another mistake in this episode. Look at this.
I wanna go home!
You are home, SpongeBob. You just need to stay in this bubble until the ick clears up.
Where's my snail, Gary?
We've taken care of your pet.
Gary? Wow!
Last one from this episode, but after SpongeBob gets literally kidnapped from the Krusty Krab and is put into isolation, he says, "Where's my snail Gary?" And if we look at his clothing, look at his side belt, it's missing. Normally SpongeBob's belt goes like all around him, but in this one shot, the side part of his belt is gone. The animators just did not draw it. Hey, mistakes happen, and guys, we've got plenty more coming up, mistakes you don't want to miss. The episode is That's No Lady. In this episode, Patrick wants to be a girl. To be fair, he has a good reason. It's because he thinks he's gonna get kicked out of town, so it's more of like a disguise. But I gotta say, he makes for a pretty lady, guys. Like, don't tell my girlfriend. Anyways, here's the first one.
Who will go with me to the next Jellyfisherman's Expo?
I'll have to be one of your other chums.
Yeah, so this takes place after SpongeBob shows the picture of the Jellyfish Expo to Patrick, and you can tell it's due to like the angle of like the shot. I can understand how this happened, but SpongeBob's legs are missing, as you can see here, especially his right leg, which is like blatantly missing. It should be starting right here. I'm circling it, but yeah, they made a massive goof here. He has no legs. Oops, mistakes happen. Here's mistake number 2.
Persistent bunch.
How about Sunday brunch?
No thanks again.
But I made reservations for 2.
I said no. No way. No. No. No.
It happens really quickly, but if we take a look at incidental 37A over here, their eyes are very like strangely misaligned with their body. Like, dude, it looks like their eyes are about to fall off of their head. Like, this is totally a mistake. This one's a bit more understandable because it's kind of just like a background element, but I caught ya, get wrecked, Nickelodeon. This is a mistake. And poor incidental 37A, I hope he doesn't lose his eyes. SpongeBob Season 6 has a lot of weird episodes, but one of the weirdest is definitely Slide Whistle Stooges, an episode all about SpongeBob and Patrick and eventually Squidward playing with these whistles. Like, it makes for some funny moments though, for sure. What we're here for though are the mistakes. Here's the first one. Okay, so this character right here is Sadie. She's incidental 47. And in this episode, she first appears as orange, all right? She has this orange color scheme, as you can see right here. Now, the problem is as the episode progresses, we see Sadie again, but her colors randomly change. As I said, at first she was orange, but then in later scenes, she's just randomly yellow. Remember, this is the same character. I know sometimes people think there's multiple of the different incidentals. When they duplicate them, it's a mistake. So in this case, it's especially bad because they didn't even duplicate her. They just drew her with a wrong color. Like, here's a side-by-side, and it's not a big deal, but still technically a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode.
Okay, that's enough. Not the windows again.
Okay, I'm a total nerd for even catching this one, but as you guys just saw, SpongeBob and Patrick go into these two self-portraits of Squidward. And what we really want to pay attention to are the eyes on the self-portraits before they go in. Both eyes are the same color, as you can see here. Remember this. As when SpongeBob and Patrick jump out of the paintings, the one that Patrick was in now has different eyes. I'm doing a side-by-side of both portraits, and as you can see, like before they both had these like tan eyes, slightly tan. They're not fully white, but now the one that Patrick comes out of, the eyes are fully white. So yeah, a bit of a mistake here. A kind of a weird one too. And believe it or not, here's another one from the same episode. 3 mistakes in one episode is crazy.
What is the meaning of this?
What is the meaning of this? We're slide whistling.
Don't you mean playing the slide whistle?
Squidward, slide whistling is more than just simply tooting on an instrument. It's a way of life.
This one happens closer to the beginning of the episode, and it's really funny, but when Squidward finds SpongeBob and Patrick under the mat, look, SpongeBob's socks are randomly missing. Like, I guess today SpongeBob could have just decided not to wear socks, but in the like 300 plus episodes of SpongeBob, he always wears socks, so I do think this was a mistake. Plus, look at how weird it looks, him wearing his shoes without socks. It looks so weird.
I can't work under these conditions.
Now you're in the driver's seat, Squiddy.
Okay, so as you guys just seen, the driver of the truck spills his coffee near an air vent right here, all right? Remember this. As later, Squidward eventually drives the exact same truck, but if we look, that vent that was in it before is not here now. I'm showing a side-by-side, and at first there was a vent inside the truck, as you can see here, but when Squidward gets in, I guess the animators forgot and did not draw the vent, so yeah, mistake. A very silly one, and you guys know what's good, let's keep it moving. I've got more mistakes coming up. Things are gonna get spicy. This one's another underrated episode of SpongeBob. It's from season 5 and it's called Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. It's all about our spongy boy going missing after he runs away from Bikini Bottom. Like, our boy gets like amnesia. It's a deep episode, a deep plot. Like, the writers definitely went off with this one, but I don't know about the animators. Because this episode has like 3 mistakes. Here's the first one. First things first, let's take a look at SpongeBob's house. We'll even take a look at a shot of it from the first ever season, and you'll notice it always has this little chimney right here. Well, I guess the animators of this episode of season 5 forgot about this, as SpongeBob's house is missing its chimney in this scene right here, which normally I wouldn't notice, but after seeing it without a chimney is really weird. Like, I don't think it ruins the episode, but weird mistake. And here's another one from Whatever Happened to SpongeBob.
Hi, SpongeBob.
Hey, Patrick, how goes it?
Well, it was going great until you showed up.
This one's a classic. So SpongeBob's teeth seem to be yellow instead of white after he runs into Patrick. Pretty straightforward. This is a very common SpongeBob mistake. You guys already know what I'm gonna say. SpongeBob, go brush those teeth, boy. They shouldn't be yellow. That's disgusting.
Whoa, that's too hot!
Next up, we have a very rough episode. It's The Incredible Shrinking Sponge, which, you know, the plot of the episode is cool. SpongeBob is shrunken down and like has to do a bunch of stuff, but the episode itself is pretty weak. It does, of course, have some mistakes, and the one mistake we're going to be covering is actually pretty whack. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Here's a hint. It has to do with the galley grub menu. All right, roll the footage. Alright, so let's go back to season 1 for a second and take a look at the Galley Grub menu, more specifically how Patty in Krabby Patty is spelt. It's always spelt as P-A-T-T-Y, but one common mistake that's happened in a few episodes throughout SpongeBob's entire runtime, like the history of the show, is that sometimes Patty in Krabby Patty will be misspelt on the menu, and in this episode, the incredible shrinking sponge, this happens right here. Look, Patty is weirdly spelt as P-A-T-T-I-E, which, yeah, is a massive mistake. Like, that's not how it's spelt at all. Okay, that one was kinda weak. It's still a mistake, so let's head over to another episode that actually has a good mistake in it. This one's really gonna shock you guys.
I'm gonna need to see some proof of pet.
Of course!
That's a rock.
Next up, we have another season 14 episode. The episode is Pet the Rock, and this is also a pretty good episode from season 14. With Patrick over here, our favorite starfish, getting himself a new pet rock, which is pretty cool. Also, didn't this happen before? I swear back in the season 2 or 3 episode where they race their snails, it's like the Great Snail Race, that Patrick has a pet rock, so kind of a reference here. But we're not here for references, we're here for mistakes.
What I do?
I will admit I'm kind of nitpicking when it comes to this one, but this picture right here shows Patrick and his family from the Patrick Star Show, but it's actually missing a ton of details. Let's start with Bunny over here, alright? Because the picture of the family from Pet the Rock is missing the patterns normally seen on Bunny's clothing. The same thing with Patrick. I'm doing a side-by-side of each character, and Patrick, it's the same thing. The patterns are missing, but also Grandpat over here is missing one of his teeth. So yeah, a bit of a messy scene, but not that big of a deal. I'm kind of nitpicking. It's meant to be like a zoomed out shot of the picture, so I'm definitely over analyzing it. So let's move on to another episode with some actual crazy mistakes.
Classy new boot.
Hello, SpongeBob.
SpongeBob! You're not driving! I know, isn't it great?
Keeping on the topic of modern SpongeBob, the HD era of SpongeBob, our next episode is Drive Happy. And this one's an interesting one. It's all about SpongeBob being able to drive, but not because he got his license finally, but because he operates this self-driving car. Definitely give the episode a watch when you get a chance, but first, let's watch these mistakes. Let's expose them. Here's the first one.
All right, Coop, come on in.
So I want you to take a look at some of these shots of SpongeBob's house. And what we'll notice is that SpongeBob has a garage in the back of his house, all right? We've seen it in many episodes before. Here are some examples. But remember this, because it seems that the writer of this episode and the animators forgot about it. That or they've just never watched old school SpongeBob before. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Nickelodeon. Because at one point, SpongeBob saws a hole at the front of his house so that his car, Coop, the self-driving car, can enter and seek shelter. But this is a problem because SpongeBob literally already has a garage, so like, why would he do this? Like I said, the writer of this episode needs to go back and watch old school SpongeBob, because they do not know what they're talking about at all. And here's one more mistake from this episode.
Oh, that was the best day of non-driving ever.
Now this one could be a case of cartoon logic, but it's still like kind of a weird choice, to be honest with you, because it does highlight what could be a mistake. As you guys seen in the clips that we just played, when SpongeBob's house eventually gets this driveway right here, look, Squidward's house is missing when it should be right here. Like, based on the angle of this shot, we should be able to see his house, but I guess the animators were feeling a little lazy and just didn't draw it. Again, this one's kind of cartoon logic, but it's still technically a mistake. Like, his house should be right there. Like, look at this shot of Conch Street right here. That's where his house is, right there. So it should be right here in this shot. But anyways, I'm rambling. Let's just keep the spiciness going and head over to another episode with more mistakes. Tons of mistakes coming up. So I imagine some of you guys have pets, and here's a funny question for you guys. What if one day your pet could just start talking? Like, your dog could just start talking to you. Or your cat. I'm kind of more of a dog guy, but your cat could be talking to you too. Well, this is exactly what happens in Chatterbox Gary. With Gary over here becoming quite keep the Chatterbox. Now, of course, we're gonna get right into the mistakes is what you guys are here for, but here are some hilarious clips from this episode of Gary talking, like some of the funny stuff he says, and then we're gonna get right into the mistakes.
Hello there, Papa Bob.
How do I look in these pants?
They really bring out the sharp corners of your buttocks. Greetings and salutations, grouchy man.
Yeah, I need to get one of these things right here for my dog, because Gary is cracking me up in this episode. Like, we need a whole spin-off series that's just based on Gary. But anyways, on to the mistakes. Here's the first one. Try to comment it before I reveal the mistake. I want to see if you guys can catch it before I tell you. All right, roll the footage.
Stupid rake!
So as you guys just saw in the clips we just played, Squidward climbs up into SpongeBob's house. And when this happens, we can see that there's this rake right here, all right, by SpongeBob's house. This rake's right here. Remember it. As eventually, when Squidward climbs down from SpongeBob's house, the rake has just magically disappeared. And considering the context of this, like, episode and this scene, while Squidward was sneaking up there, SpongeBob did not come out and put the rake away. The animators drew the rake at first and forgot to draw it the second time, which isn't a big deal because this is a kid's cartoon, so yeah, but still, it's a mistake. Like, get wrecked, Nickelodeon. It's a mistake. And here's another one.
In order to achieve complete brainfulness, one must clear one's mind of all distractions.
Early on in the episode, we get these scenes where Squidward is meditating, all right? And now normally, if we look at Squidward in any other episode, just a random PNG of him, he always has these wrinkles on his forehead. Even back in his first appearance of SpongeBob, he's had the wrinkles. They will disappear when he makes very specific facial expressions, but even that is rare. They very rarely disappear. And when they do, it's usually a mistake. Now, if you guys look while Squidward's meditating, look, his wrinkles on his head are gone. But there could be a reasoning for this. Now, I think it's a mistake, but it could be due to the fact that he's meditating. So he's relaxed, he's calm from meditating, which could result in like the forehead wrinkles maybe going away. I don't know. I definitely think it was a mistake though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Ever notice how big squirrels' teeth are? I mean, hey, you could land a plane on those things.
Nice. Squirrel Jokes. I love this episode. I felt bad for Sandy in it because, you know, they're kind of mean to her, but overall, really, really, really good episode. And of course, it has a mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it without my help. All right, guys, before I reveal and explain the mistake, try and comment it to see if you guys spot it first. But all right, roll the footage.
Squirrel! I know, let's try and communicate with it.
Okay, so context. This character right here is Incidental 38B, and you'll notice that their lips are purple, all right? Their lips are always purple too. In any other episode, look at some of these shots, their lips are purple, remember. Well, in the scene you guys just saw, where Sandy's in the grocery store and these three fish just start roasting her, like they start going in on our girl. If we watch Incidental 38B closely, their lips actually flicker orange for about a frame, and then they go back to purple, but for that one frame, look at this, like what? My theory is if you look, this fish over here is orange and has orangish lips, so maybe they got confused and mixed it up. It's only for a frame, but it's still a mistake. And here's another one that you do not want to miss from Squirrel Jokes. Roll the footage.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I want to give a special thanks to my friend Sandy.
So this right here is my boy Incidental 11, and you'll notice that he has this fin right here, all right? I want you to remember how this fin looks. We even see him in this episode earlier on, and his fin looks the same, right? Well, during the scene you guys saw where the spotlight's put on Sandy after SpongeBob starts roasting her more, look, part of Incidental 11's fin is just missing. It looks incredibly awkward, especially when there are shots with their full fin intact. So weird mistake here. It's not very noticeable unless you're looking for it, but I mean, come on, that is a mistake. And here's another one.
Crabs? Oh, brother, they're so cheap, they can't even pay attention.
It's true. I am cheap.
Forward, and I feel bad for Mr. Krabs over here, but when SpongeBob talks about Krabs in his stand-up, Mr. Krabs over here is missing his legs. I can understand how this happened, kind of, but also, like, considering the angle, they're kind of silly for this one. It's so blatant. Like, I remember catching this as a kid. So, yeah, no legs on Mr. Krabs. Hey, it happens sometimes. Let's head over to another episode, guys, and stay tuned, because the mistakes are gonna get worse as we go. Like, it is going to be crazy by the ending of the video. All right, let's head over to the next episode.
Wow, Squidward, you flipped him over. That takes an awful amount of skill.
Season 4 Skill Crane is an interesting episode. The plot, I mean, is very interesting, the idea of them getting a skill crane in the Krusty Krab. Now I want to play one of these. These games are fun. I'll win all of you guys like a SpongeBob plushie, all right? Before that, though, let's expose the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
You know this guy?
Yeah, that's Squidward. He's got the magic touch.
Yeah, so this one really cracked me up. I never noticed this as a kid, but now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee it when watching this episode. So this construction worker right here, the short king right here, all right, pay attention to his pants. At first, he's wearing these like grayish, bluish pants right here, as you can see, all right? Remember these? They're kind of fresh. I need a pair. Then the scene changes, but when we go back to it and we see the same short king over here, look, his pants are now like a beige color. I'm doing a side-by-side and they like completely changed his pants. I don't even know how something like this happened. Maybe his pants were originally going to be beige. I don't know. Maybe it's a layering issue because if you look, they're standing on sand, which is a similar color. I don't know, but this is definitely a mistake. And here's another one from Skill Crane.
Need some change? There you are.
Gee, thanks.
No, Mr. Squidward. Thank you.
This one is very easy to miss. So in the footage you guys just saw, when Mr. Krabs is thanking Squidward after giving him change, it happens right before the coins start rolling, but the leftmost end of Mr. Krabs's belt turns gray for a frame. Obviously it's supposed to be black, as we've seen in every other appearance of Mr. Krabs, even in this episode. But for a moment, it is gray for a single frame, and that, my friends, is totally a mistake. Don't worry though, guys, we've got more. We're gonna head over to another episode, and you guys are gonna really like this one because it's from an iconic episode that I love. All right, let's do it. Let's head over to our next episode.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
I told you guys this episode is iconic, the secret box. This episode is all about Patrick having like this box, and he won't show SpongeBob what's inside of his box, and this drives SpongeBob crazy. You know what really drives me crazy though? The mistake in this episode. Roll the footage, please.
This very box is the most secrety secret. Not even Squidward's house.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this PNG of SpongeBob right here, and we'll all notice that he has freckles on his face. He has 3 freckles on each cheek. This is a major part of our boy's design. But there's a massive animation glitch in this episode, as before Patrick mentions Squidward's house, look at SpongeBob's cheek as he has double the amount of freckles. Like, it looks really weird. There's like 6 of them. This has never happened before and has never happened since this episode, so totally a mistake here. Like, look at how weird that looks. Anyways, let's go to the next episode.
I like it here. It's roomy. And best of all, we have this cave all to ourselves.
Up next, we have To Save a Squirrel, and this is actually a pretty good episode. I like this one. SpongeBob and Patrick go off to find Sandy, and the mistakes in this episode are very interesting, especially this first one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Carrots! You're making soup out of me!
Was not! It was supposed to be stew!
Did you guys catch it? If not, I do not blame you because this one is going to need some explaining. There is some explaining to do here for sure. It has to do with this puddle right here, as it seems that Patrick goes under the puddle when he's running, during his running animation. And I don't mean like he steps in the puddle like he's stepping in water. I mean like the art for the puddle is literally overlapping his leg like it's on top of his leg, as you can see here. This is 100% a layering issue, where you can see that the puddle's layer should be under Patrick's layer, I guess his body layer, but they messed up and swapped them, which is why this puddle is like on top of Patrick. So weird, man. It's so weird. Not as weird as this next one though, from To Save a Squirrel. Roll the footage. It has to do with one of SpongeBob's pores.
Owned our tent and lost all our water. Patrick, we are gonna need to use our razor-sharp quick wits if we're gonna make it out of here alive.
Gotcha.
Did you guys catch it? This one's actually fairly easy to catch if you pause at the right frame, which is what we just did for you guys, but I gotcha, don't worry, I'm gonna explain it. When SpongeBob says, Patrick, we are going to need to use our razor-sharp quick wits if we're going to make it out of here alive, one of his holes just becomes transparent for a split second, like you can see right through it and see the sky behind it, which is not supposed to happen. SpongeBob's pores are never just entirely see-through, they're just holes into his body. So being able to see the sky through our yellow spongy boy over here is 100% a mistake, and a fairly bad one actually. But all right, let's keep it moving, guys. Let's head over to another episode.
From now on, the Krusty Krab is open 24 hours a day.
Now we never have to stop working.
Back to the classics. Next up, we've got Graveyard Shift, and this one's a cool one where Squidward and SpongeBob are forced to work like overnight, and they get terrified when this new kid is coming to apply. They think he's the hash slinging slasher, but he's actually just this cute kid right here. All right, enough spoilers. Here's the first mistake.
The hash slinging slasher! Get away, SpongeBob! No matter what I've said, I've always sort of...
So let's take a look at SpongeBob's design, all right? We're looking at this PNG of our favorite yellow spongy boy right here, and you'll notice he has this red line right here under his mouth. It's always been there ever since season 1, and it never really disappears. It's supposed to represent like the under part of his jaw, I think, or the bottom part of his mouth. But anyways, in Graveyard Shift, when Squidward and SpongeBob are shaking under the misconception that the hash-slinging slasher is approaching, that red line under SpongeBob's mouth actually flickers between normal and invisible. I'm playing it in slow motion right here. I zoomed in and I sharpened the footage. And yeah, you can see it kind of just goes back and forth between the two, which is very awkward and weird.
I would like a hey-ya!
Oh, what?
I said one crusty combo. Don't you speak karate?
We're heading over to season 7 for this next one, and this episode is not liked by the SpongeBob community very much. It's Karate Star. I personally don't think that the episode is that bad, but a lot of fans just do not like this one. Mainly due to the plot, but surprise, surprise, the episode itself also has a bunch of mistakes. Here's the first one, and try to guess what the mistake is before I reveal it. Try to comment what the mistake is before I actually say what it is. I know you guys can do it. Anyways, roll that footage.
Hey, look, it's Patrick!
Hiya, SpongeBob!
What are you doing in there? There, nipped!
So this one's weird, all right? Let's take a look at the Krusty Krab from the outside, and you'll notice that the Krusty Krab doors have these yellow handles on them, all right? It's been there ever since the first ever episode, and it's just how the doors look, man, all right? It's how they look. But in the clips you guys just saw, when Patrick chops through the Krusty Krab doors with his karate, or his karate, those yellow handles do not appear on the floor, when they really should. Like, this mistake is a bit of a nitpick on my end, and I can understand why the animators were a little too lazy to put the handles in this shot, but it's still technically a mistake. Here's mistake number 2, though.
Also, lipids and cream.
We're all out. In fact, we're out of everything.
All right, mistake number 3. So as you guys saw in the clips, Patrick over here orders a delicious ice cream, all right? I could go for some ice cream right now. Comment down below what's your favorite flavor of ice cream. Mine is cookie dough. But anyways, when Patrick orders his large ice cream, the amount of scoops on his ice cream inconsistently change in between shots. For example, when he first gets it, it looks like this, and there's this many scoops. But when the shot changes, look, so do the scoops of ice cream. It even happens again in this shot where the scoops of ice cream have changed again. Super inconsistent. Not a huge deal, but this one is most certainly a mistake, and hey, mistakes happen sometimes. It's a 2D animated show, but I caught ya. And let's catch more heading over to another episode. And guys, stay tuned because the mistakes are only gonna get crazier as we go. I'm saving the craziest mistakes for the end.
I hired him to stand out there and hold that sign.
Oh, he is good.
Can you direct me to the Krusty Krab, please?
You know, we cover a ton of mistakes on this channel, and there are some mistakes that just actually crack me up, and this is one of them. It's from the episode No Hat for Pat, which is kind of an underrated episode, just saying, with Patrick becoming an attraction at the Krusty Krab because he constantly falls and hurts himself. I actually feel kind of bad for Patrick in this episode, but anyways, here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
I'll show you, SpongeBob! I'll get a job! And a hat!
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward, but the Krusty Krab sign, alright? Normally it looks like this, and as you can see, it says the Krusty Krab. Of course, it's the Krusty Krab sign after all. But in this one shot from No Hat for Pat, look, the sign is misspelled, with the U in Krusty being replaced with a Y. But yeah, that's not how the sign is supposed to look. As a matter of fact, here's a side-by-side of how the sign looks in other episodes, and yeah, you guys can really see the mistake now. So weird, but not as weird as this next episode set of mistakes. Let's keep it rolling, gang. Next up, we've got Squid Noir, and this episode's really cool. I actually think it's a very underrated episode. Now, we're gonna get into the mistake, but a big part of this episode is that Squidward becomes a detective, and when this happens, the whole art style changes. Everything becomes all black and white, and it starts to feel like a noir film. So we're gonna get into the mistakes, but here are some clips showing you guys this because it's a really cool episode. And then we'll expose the mistakes and take a poop on the episode.
When it came to paying the stupid bill, SpongeBob always tipped 20%.
All right, I'll partner up with you this time.
See, really cool stuff. Now we can just, you know, like I said, we can take a poop on the episode and bring up the mistake, roll the footage.
Make me turn this boat around.
I'm so sorry.
This one's actually pretty easy to miss, especially because the scene's in black and white. But when one of Bubble Bass's friends try to comfort him after his suburban dad action figure breaks, the veil that one of the friends wears disappears for like a split second. It happens really fast. It then pops right back on, but look, for this one frame, it's gone. I'm actually gonna play the clip in slow motion again. Like, look at this, I'm playing it, and like, yeah, like it just disappears randomly. At least he gets it back though, so yeah.
Okay.
Squidward, have you ever seen more lovely French tips?
French tips, huh? All right, pal.
Listen, so when you get old, like your big brother Corey over here, all right, your big brother cartoon Corey, I'm turning old, I'm getting old. Sundays become like a very important day. It's like your day off because you're working all the time. So I'm not surprised that Squidward gets so annoyed at SpongeBob and Patrick for ruining his Sunday off in the episode Good Neighbors.
It's Sunday! A good neighbor doesn't bother me on Sunday!
Sunday?
This is another one that just makes you laugh like a lot, as when Squidward angrily throws SpongeBob out, he's seen wearing his regular clothes. You can see it right here, his regular OG fit. But in the very next shot, dude is now wearing his pajamas, and this happens in a matter of seconds. Like literally he's seen in his regular clothes and then the scene changes and now he's in his pajamas. Weird continuity error, but let's keep it moving, guys. Let's talk about season 7 for a second, more specifically the episode The Play's the Thing, an episode all about Squidward putting on a play at the Krusty Krab. Now, of course, there's loads of mistakes we're going to be covering in this episode and you don't want to miss them, but here are some clips from Squidward's play as it's actually like really funny, and then we'll get right to the mistake.
Promise and potential.
I'd like a double Krabby meal.
Hero!
Hey, my Krabby Patty doesn't have ketchup.
Okay, it's mistake time. That's what you guys are actually here for. We're gonna cover 2. Here's the first one, and try to comment it without me revealing it yet. Let's see if you guys can spot it without me showing you it right away, all right? Roll the footage.
Delivery for Mr. Squidward Tentacles. Hello?
You guys may have caught it, all right? But in the close-up shot of the mailman's letter, the mailman's sleeve is missing, despite the fact that when we see like the full shot of him, he has the sleeve. So in the close-up of the letter, he should also have his sleeve. That's a continuity error. And here's another one from this episode. Here's a hint, it has to do with SpongeBob's teeth. Roll the footage.
Oh, the trash is full. I had better call the garbage truck.
This is a very common mistake throughout SpongeBob, and I try to avoid it because I feel like it's kinda lame, but in this case, it's actually pretty bad. So, while SpongeBob faces towards the camera and begins acting like a garbage truck, look, for about a split second, his teeth turned yellow. You guys already know what I'm gonna say, but SpongeBob, go brush those teeth, boy.
I'm crossing over to the dark side.
Why should I waste money lighting the whole store?
Let's kick things off with a banger. How about one of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes? We'll do Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 5. Just saying rest in peace to the voice actors because they're legendary. I do feel bad because we're gonna expose some mistakes. Here's the first one, and let's see if you guys can catch it without my help. I'm gonna reveal and explain the mistake, but before I reveal it, try to comment it if you guys catch it. All right, roll the footage.
Name their new alliance. Every villain is Lemons, otherwise known as evil.
Come on, I know you guys caught this one because this one is blatant. I don't know how Nickelodeon staff or Rough Draft Korea, the people who animate SpongeBob, did not catch this one. But to be fair, the episode's like over 20 years old, so. But anyways, in the Every Villain is Lemons TV sequence, look, the word villain is incorrectly spelt. Villain is supposed to be spelt as V-I-L-L-A-I-N, but they got it a little mixed up in this shot right here. I wonder how many kids went on to think that this is how you spell villain. It's a funny mistake, but here's one that's a lot more spicy from the same episode. Roll the footage.
I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. No world means no money. Now, go save the world, or you're fired.
You guys are legends if you caught this, but when Mr. Krabs is talking to Squidward in the clips you guys just saw and says, no world means no money, look, his right arm is missing. It's kind of an awkward shot, which justifies it a little bit, but they still should have drawn dude's arm, especially if Mr. Krabs wants to be counting all that money, money, money. He needs those arms, so yeah. Here's another mistake from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy Part 5, and this one's a lot worse.
Need a hand? Super pal.
This one's closer to the ending of the episode. It's actually in the very final scene when Barnacle Boy says need a hand super pal and reunites with his best bud Mermaid Man. So nice. If you look closely, his mask, the side parts of his mask turn to the same color as his skin for this one frame, which is majorly incorrect. That's not supposed to be the same color as his skin. To be fair, it's only for one frame, but I mean, come on, man, it's still a mistake. And believe it or not, I've got one more from this episode.
Nothing will stop me from defeating the evil! Nothing!
Did you guys catch that one? If not, don't worry, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. So, when Mermaid Man says that he will fight the evil after the news report plays, it seems that one of his suspenders cuts off before reaching his shoulder, as you can see right here. Maybe Mermaid Man needs to lay off the Krabby Patties. He might be getting too big for that seashell bra he's wearing. Anyways, though, let's head over to another episode, guys, with more mistakes, and trust me, you do not want to miss these ones. This episode almost got canceled because of the mistakes.
Oh no! Your bathroom is a disaster. Get it cleaned up fast with the new sponge.
Next up, we have the Season 7 episode Model Sponge, which I actually personally like. SpongeBob starts to think he's like a famous actor in the episode. Well, actually, SpongeBob thinks that he's gonna become a famous actor. It doesn't actually go that way. He actually gets used to clean the sink. Anyways, though, we're here for mistakes. Here's the first one, and it is weird. Be prepared.
I am a fry cook. That's what I am, and that's what I've always been. I'm sorry to waste your time, mister.
It happens really, really fast, so I cannot blame you guys if you didn't catch it, but when SpongeBob says in the clips you guys just saw, I'm sorry to waste your time, mister, his normally gray spatula that's literally always gray in every other episode randomly turns yellow for a split second. Like, what? For this one, it's just confusing. I don't know if it's a layering issue. I don't really know what happened here. Maybe they originally drew it yellow and then realized it was supposed to be gray and fixed it in post, but for one frame they slipped up. I don't know. But stay tuned because the next mistake we're going to be covering from this next episode is going to blow your brain. Let's do it.
SpongeBob.
Okay, I'll tell ya.
Your order, ma'am.
I'm not using my hands because today is Work Without Your Hands Day.
Some of my favorite SpongeBob episodes are the ones that have to do with King Neptune. He's a cool character and he always has something interesting to say. His son though, Triton, now that's a whole different story. Next up, we've got the Clash of Triton, which is all about King Neptune's son, who's like a spoiled brat, actually. Enough about all that though. We're here for mistakes. It's what you guys clicked on this video for, so here's the first one.
Oh, let's go home, son.
Okay, so this right here is Queen Amphitrite. I might have said it incorrectly, but she does come from Greek mythology, just saying. But yeah, this is her design from SpongeBob. I'm showing a PNG here, and as you can see on her belt right here, she has a seahorse on it right here. Remember this as it's very important, as if we watch closely in the clips I just showed you guys, when she's about to close this door of the carriage after Neptune and Triton return, look, the seahorse I just mentioned has vanished from her belt. Now, it's most likely due to this scene and how it's animated, but it should still be there despite this. Like, it's like the animators were just too lazy to draw it in this one shot, which can be excused, but this next error, not so much.
What
is going on in here?
This one was actually very hard to find, but in the scene you guys just saw where Neptune opens the door to Triton's room, if we watch very closely, Triton's skin, specifically between his vest and his belt, turns red. Here's another shot of him from the same episode where that part is not red. So in this scene, when the doors open for Triton's room and that part of his skin is red, it is totally a mistake, guys, and a rough one. And here's another one from this episode. I'd say it's even worse, to be honest. Roll the footage.
Party decorations for what? So it's my old man's birthday. I am. Fingernails, man!
You're right.
So it takes place in the scenes where SpongeBob first meets Triton when he's in the cage. And if we look at this lock right here, it actually changes multiple times. This is how it looks at first. Then it changes to this. There are these shots where it has like no art on it. And there's even one shot where it's solved before it's actually supposed to be solved. So very messy scene right here. This lock changes multiple times and that is a mistake. And guys, if you thought these were bad, you will not believe the ones coming up in our next episode. Let's keep it moving.
Hold on. Did you hear that? It sounds like despair.
Let's expose some more mistakes in the episode Single Cell Anniversary from season 6. It isn't necessarily the best episode, but it's one of the few episodes to actually focus on the marriage of Plankton and Karen, which is cool. I like when we get more episodes that build the world of SpongeBob and Bikini Bottom, but I'm being a nerd and we're here for mistakes. So here's the first one, and let's see if you guys can spot it before I reveal it. Try to comment the mistake before I actually tell you. All right, got it? Roll the footage.
Percent loaded.
How do you turn this thing off?
Did you guys catch it? Well, don't worry, Cartoon Corey's going to explain. So, when SpongeBob attempts to Control-Alt-Delete Karen, he literally tries to kill Karen and delete her. We can see that the keyboard keys that he uses are white, all right? Remember this is a white keyboard, all right? And it should stay white for this entire episode. Well, plot twist, that isn't what happens, as when Karen begins to short circuit, look, those white keys are now suddenly red, making for a wacky continuity error, like the keys of a keyboard don't randomly change color, guys. The animators originally drew them as white and then forgot and drew them as red, which is a mistake. And we've got another one from this episode. Let's keep it rolling.
You done to my daughter. You made her cry. You know, she could have been with an ATM. Someone with money. But she chose you. I don't know why.
Mistake number 2 is actually pretty simple. You know this is a very common mistake in SpongeBob, but canonically speaking, the Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket are directly across from each other. Here's one example of this, and here's another example of this. Heck, here's even a third example so you guys know I'm not capping, all right? The Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket are directly across from another, and there's a path that connects them. Well, near the ending of this episode's Single Cell Anniversary, when the camera zooms out of the Chum Bucket, look, the pathway to the Krusty Krab is missing. Hey, this is a lot better than before. There are times where like they don't even draw the Krusty Krab, but at least this time it's just the path. However, though, it is still a sneaky little mistake. I got you, Nickelodeon, I caught it. We still ain't done yet though. Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Things are really gonna get spicy from here.
Violin!
Whew! Now my house can withstand anything nature has to throw at us.
I guess Squidward's not part of nature.
This is another nitpick, so I'm gonna make it very quick. It's in the episode Pineapple Fever. I'm gonna roll the clip and let's see if you guys can catch it. It has to do with this book that SpongeBob's reading, all right? Roll that footage. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Congratulations, Squidward.
Did you guys catch it? This one's kind of a tricky one. All right, so this tic-tac-toe rules book that SpongeBob is reading, all right? If you look closely, the title of the book is on the right side of the book, which is incorrect. It should be on the left. This is how a normal book looks, guys. And based on how you would read a book, where you're turning each page to the left, the title of a book would be on the left side of it. SpongeBob isn't reading manga over here. My boy ain't reading the new chapter of Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, this is technically a mistake. I'm being a total nerd, but still technically a mistake. And let's head over to an episode with some good mistakes.
You have no idea what day tomorrow is, do you?
None at all.
It's my 16th birthday!
I knew that!
You know, Mr. Krabs is a very, very greedy father, alright? But at the same time, Pearl is kind of a spoiled brat at times, alright? She's very entitled, but again, to be fair, her dad does, like, suck. Like, look at this clip where Mr. Krabs tries to give Pearl ketchup and crackers and calls it pizza.
Here, would your friends like some pizza? You can have your allowance early.
Ketchup!
See, you put it on the crackers, got a spicy pizza pie.
Yeah, this man is a cheapskate, and this is definitely the case in the episode Whale of a Birthday, where Mr. Krabs sends SpongeBob to get Pearl a present, just he doesn't want to spend a ton of money. At least he's not getting her squeaky boots this time. Now, this episode has a few mistakes. Here's the first one, let's dive right in.
It's Billy Fishkin! Hi, Billy!
Beep. Oh, isn't he dreamy?
This first one's pretty simple, but it's still pretty bad at the same time. So when Pearl and her friends meet Billy Fishkins over here, and we get this shot while facing in front, for about one frame, her heart lipstick just disappears. It's only for a single frame, so I mean it's not that big of a deal, plus this is a 2D animated cartoon. But hey, don't shoot the messenger, I'm just reporting the mistake and this is a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode.
Sea pony is the cutest thing ever! Do you want to come home and be my pony?
Now, this one is actually really bad, and it's also pretty weird at the same time. I have no idea how something like this happened. As you guys saw in the clips, Pearl and her friends are at the mall, and in this scene, she looks at the sea pony. Now, in the first shot, it shows the dog-fish tank right next to it, alright? It's two separate, like, tanks beside each other. Remember this, I know I'm over-explaining it, but two separate tanks with animals in them beside each other, with a clear separation of the two tanks. However, though, a few seconds later, and now look, it's completely transformed, and now it's one tank, with the sea pony sharing it with the dogfish. So like I said, this one's really bad. First they drew it like this, and then forgot because seconds later they draw it like this. Like what? I have no clue how this happened, but what can you do, guys? Actually, what we can do is head over to another episode with more mistakes.
Hey, Squidward, we blew a fuse.
I'm gonna blow a fuse if you don't get that order up.
Next up, we have the inside job. So I'm totally nitpicking with this one, so I'm going to make it quick, and don't worry guys, the other mistakes we're going to be covering are actually good, but in the episode The Inside Job, there's this mistake. Roll the footage.
Oh, cheesy.
Did you guys catch it? Well, as you guys can see, Plankton's inside SpongeBob's body and we can see his heart. But it should be doing something that it isn't doing in this shot, and that's beating. A heart is constantly beating. That's how, you know, you stay alive. So again, like I said, I'm nitpicking, but the heart not beating in this one shot is technically a mistake. You guys know Cartoon Corey loves his classic episodes. We'll be doing No Weenies Allowed, and I know if you're an old school SpongeBob fan, you know this episode. It's the one where SpongeBob becomes desperate to get into the salty spittoon after Sandy's allowed and he's not allowed. To be honest, I'd be pretty cheesed about that too. Like, your girl gets in, but you can't get in. Anyways though, here's the first mistake, and let's see if you guys can catch it without my help. Try to comment the mistake before I actually reveal it, alright? Roll that footage.
Sandy? Oh, what happened?
You ran inside and slipped out an ice cube.
Okay, did you guys catch it? If not, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. As you can see in these shots of Sandy right here, she is a squirrel and she has a tail. It's a big part of her design because, you know, she's a squirrel. But there are two scenes in this episode where her tail just was not drawn for some strange reason. They're both when they're in the ambulance. There's this shot right here that's more of a zoomed out shot, and as you can see, her tail is gone. This one's especially bad because of how zoomed out it is. And the second is this shot, which is a little more excusable. It's more zoomed in, and maybe because of the angle you just can't see it, but either way we should be able to see her tail in both of these shots, and this was a little goof on the animator's end. Anyways though, let's head over to another episode, and this is where things are really gonna get spicy, so stay tuned.
I went out and dug one up.
Where did you get this old thing?
She looks so peaceful, but wasn't she wearing a hat?
We're jumping over to season 5 for this next one. The episode is Enemy-in-Law, and this episode is all about Plankton falling in love with Mr. Krabs' mom. I'd be so upset. My arch rival starts trying to rizz up my mother. That would be a scrap. But anyways, here's the first mistake.
I've reservations for 2.
Your gentleman caller.
You guys may have noticed, but when Plankton walks into the Krusty Krab with a rose for Mr. Krabs' mom, there is a burger sticker on the window right here. We're circling it, we're zooming in, remember this burger sticker right here. Now it should be here for the remainder of the episode. However, once Plankton gets inside of the restaurant, look, that sticker has just magically disappeared randomly. Weird. Here's mistake number 2.
Eugene!
All you love is thieving and conniving. Now stop trying to get the formula out of me, mother!
This one's more of a strange one, but when Mr. Krabs barges into the chum bucket in anger, some scenes show these red pipes on the wall right here. Remember them, they should be here for the entire scene. But in some shots where we see the exact same wall which should have those red pipes, they're not there. So the animators drew the red pipes at first, and then in some shots just were too lazy to draw them again. Not a huge deal, but definitely a mistake. And guys, stay tuned because these next set of mistakes we're going to be covering are going to blow your mind.
That was close.
It sure was. I almost didn't catch this bus.
Next up, let's head over to season 12 and talk about a fairly good episode that I personally enjoyed, that being Squid on a Bus, which I mean, the title's pretty self-explanatory for this one, guys. It's about Squidward taking the bus. It's a good episode, but like most episodes of SpongeBob, it does have 3 mistakes hidden in it, and these mistakes are really, really bad, guys. Here's mistake number 1.
Where's that bus? I've been waiting for almost an hour!
So in the opening of the episode, Squidward appears to be wearing a watch on his right wrist, right? You can see it right here. I'm zooming in on it. But seconds later, when the bus door opens, Squidward's watch is just missing now. I doubt the dude took it off to go in the bus. What I think happened is in this first shot right here, the animators drew him with a watch, but then the animators forgot about the watch because in this scene, the watch is just gone. Poof, it went missing. And that's not the only thing missing in the beginning of the episode, as there's another mistake that's kind of similar to this one. Roll the footage again.
I've been waiting for almost an hour!
Almost an hour, he says.
Did ya catch it? Well, take a look at this shot of Conch Street right here. As you can see, it goes Patrick's house, Squidward's house, and then good old SpongeBob's house right here, that old-fashioned pineapple house. Now I'm hungry. But in that opening scene, where is SpongeBob's house? It should be right there. You could say that, you know, it just wasn't on the screen, but the distance between Squidward's house and SpongeBob's house is not that wide, and I'm pretty sure the animators were just feeling kind of lazy in this scene and didn't draw SpongeBob's house, which is still technically a mistake. But wait, there's more. Here's mistake number 3. Let's see if you guys can catch this one. Man, 3 mistakes in one episode is like really bad. Nickelodeon be slacking, boy. But take a look at this shot from inside the bus when the bus starts rocking. As you can see, there are passengers inside. They're chilling inside the bus. But when we get the same shot from the outside view, why is Squidward the only one on the bus? The passengers just disappeared? They're gone? Poof? Talk about a mistake, a continuity mistake, and let's keep the video moving, guys.
I'm gonna have some of your delicious peanut brittle. Where's the peanut brittle? Hey, peanut brittle! Oh, darn it!
Next up, we've got another classic banger. I'm talking about Pranks-a-Lot. I feel like this is actually an underrated older episode of SpongeBob. People don't talk about it enough. Well, I'm gonna talk about it today, but I mean, the context is kind of bad because we're gonna be exposing some mistakes. Here's the first one.
Ha! Exploding chewing gum, only $9.95.
I don't get it.
This first one is a spelling error, and it has to do with the exploding chewing gum box that this dude tries to sell to SpongeBob. Exploding chewing gum sounds insane. But anyways, it should read as exploding, so E-X-P-L-O-D-I-N-G, but instead that first O seems to be replaced with a P. It might be due to the type of writing, but I do think this was a spelling mistake. Here's mistake number 2 from this episode though.
Too late, Krabs! We've already clogged all the toilets!
Please, spirits! Leave!
Now, I will admit, I'm kind of weird for even noticing this or pointing it out. It just shows that I watch way too much SpongeBob. But normally, when we see the Krusty Krab washroom, all right, the toilet is covered in a stall. Like it's in a stall. The toilet isn't just sitting in the washroom. There are stalls and the toilets are in the stalls. Well, for some reason in this episode, the toilet in the Krusty Krab restroom is just in plain sight and is not hidden by a stall, which is just very random and technically a mistake. Like there should be continuity of the washroom. Is it a big deal? No, but it's still a mistake. And here's another one from this episode. This next one isn't as bad, it's more funny, like it really cracked me up, but near the ending of the episode, when the crowd is cheering at SpongeBob and Patrick, who are naked, we can see Sandy, and if you look, she whistles, but she's wearing her helmet, so this would be impossible. You wouldn't be able to whistle through the helmet because her mouth is behind the glass of the helmet, so I don't think I need to explain this one anymore. Massive mistake. Like I said though, it's more funny than anything. This next set of mistakes though aren't so funny, they're just bad.
SquarePants and Star Babysitters at your service.
We sit on babies!
Not literally.
Yeah, not in Italy.
Let's head over to season 12. I feel like we don't talk about season 12 enough on this channel, and to be honest, the season is full of like really good episodes. Fun fact, or well I guess sad fact, it's actually the last season that Steven Hillenburg, the creator, worked on, but anyways, let's get into the mistakes, baby. Here's the first one. I said here's the first one, but there's only one mistake in this episode. So, as you guys seen, SpongeBob and Patrick were assigned to babysit. And we can see it in this shot. There's 8 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I guess the animators forgot about there being 8 of them, as later on in the episode, during this montage of SpongeBob and Patrick babysitting, 2 babies are missing, dude. If anything, SpongeBob and Patrick should be arrested. There was 8, as you can see here, and now there's only 6, so where are the other 2? SpongeBob and Patrick need to be keeping a better eye on the babies, dude. Like that's kind of scary. I hope they're okay. Maybe it was just a mistake though, guys. Maybe they just forgot to draw the other 2 babies. So yeah, let's keep it moving to another episode. Lots of crazy mistakes coming up, so stay tuned.
Today you do the opposite.
Let me try.
Patrick, breathe.
Next up, we have a personal favorite of mine, and that's Opposite Day. This episode rocks, dude. Here's the first mistake.
He does the opposite. Opposite.
So first things first, take a look at this. This is Squidward's iconic house, all right? We've seen it thousands of times before, even back in season 1. Now, more importantly, I want you guys to focus on the ear of his house. I know that sounds kind of weird, as it looks like this, all right? And as you can see, there is no window on this ear. Well, in Opposite Day, during this one scene right here, take a look at this. As for one scene, there's randomly this like magical, random, mysterious window on Squidward's house that just doesn't really exist in any other episode. It's kind of funny, like this is how Squidward's house normally looks, and then this is how it looks in this scene, and just, yeah, that window doesn't exist.